Okay, thank you, Gibbsy.
Great use, Briggy.
Dogs to kick us off. I'll say Bulldogs. You can trust them, I think, a bit more this year, but nothing would surprise me. What a start to the round so far. 2 tight results. Earlier in Auckland, the Warriors getting in there 14-10. Roosters will lead the kick-off here, and it's brought down 15 out from their own line. Played by Rob Toyer out there, and now again Tupou, 22 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Dummy half your way loose, swings it across here. Tuna Fahu White, who was sin-bin against the Dolphins last week in that melee. Plenty of feeling in that game. And swung through centre field now again here for Lindsay Collins. Hits up off Xiaomi Mi kick-out. As mentioned, a club milestone game for him, his 50th game for Canterbury-Bankstown. And now Tedesco, his first carry gains a dozen. He's tackled down 5 short of the halfway. Into the set now for the Roosters as Uelu does find Hugo Savala. And that right foot drop punt goes down towards the 10-metre line. It's allowed to bounce back there for Jacob Carraz in the in-goal area. Gets back in the field of play, and he's nailed there by Collins, and also in there Rob Toyer, and he'll play it 5 out from his own line, left-hand side of the posts. So where they go here, the Bulldogs out of their own end. Their first set of the game here on ABC Sport this Friday night blockbuster. Swung wide here again to Connor Tracy. First game since round 21 with that abdominal injury, and he's brought down 10 out from his own line still. In a dummy half, Bailey Haywood across that open side right area of the ground. 3 Roosters defenders just ploughing back the ball carrier in there, and now it'll plough on here towards that kick of Burton. It's a high left foot kick down towards Zane Tedesco, and bounce all the way back to the 10-metre line. Plenty of carry on that ball from Burton. Tedesco retrieves it and now runs back in open play here before he's met now by Lockie Galvin and also Haywood, 30 out from his own line centre field. End-to-end stuff early on here at the Sydney Football Stadium. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs as the Roosters now on play 2. Stopped out there is Tupou, 20 in from the eastern side, 40 out from his own line. Now a quick run for Billy Smith, and he's brought down 6 short of the halfway. And Uelu goes low with a pass here to Victor Radley. And over halfway he goes. Tackled in there initially by Preston and also Max King. Uelu dummy half. Open side left now again. Nafahu White. Thought he saw the gap there on Jamin Salmon as well. And he's collected centre field 40 out. Last play Roosters. Second set of the game for them. Walker's kick up in the air this time. Down towards the wing. The corner coming through. Billy Smith drops it. And that would be good enough. The signal knock on there from referee Grant Atkins. What an opening start of the game.
Well, it's outrageous from the Bulldogs. I've never seen anything like it. The Roosters go up the field. They put a kick downfield. Not one, either the fullback or the winger wants to get the ball. They let it bounce. The very next set, they go up the field. They let the ball bounce. No one gets underneath it. That is crazy play. If Billy Smith catches that ball, the Roosters are over for a try. Yeah. For a try that early in the game. And the Roosters absolutely dominating with their defence.
Yeah, Uelu is tripped up in the ruck out there with Anari Tawala. The Bulldogs roll on here out of their own end. 3 Roosters all over the ball carrier there in Carraz. Played to Haywood, dummy half, swings it across now again. King bounced off in a Fahu White. He's 25 outs in the field here for the Bulldogs. No score here in the first 3.5 minutes on ABC Sport. This Friday night fixture, Sydney Football Stadium. Fine conditions. Up the left edge they go here again. The Doggies, this time through Sam Hughes. Hickow comes a centre field run here, and he's stopped now, 40 out from his own line. Played now to Haywood. He comes back to the blind side left. Burton again just sends his kick downfield, wobbles down towards Normani Tawaze, and the Roosters winger, with his first carry of the game, meets his demise there in the form of Galvin and Salmon, and also Max King, 25 out from his own line, northern end. Roosters nil, Bulldogs nil here on ABC Sport. 4 gone first half. We'll get to Gibbsy shortly as this ball again carried by Tupou, 30 out from his own line. No real gain there for Tedesco. The marker Haywood was all over him. And now they go back to the left-hand side. Uelu on to Angus Crichton. He's on 48 NRL tries. 194th first-grade game for Angus Crichton. Back now to Fahu White. Busy in this game early. Stopped 4 short of the halfway. Down there by Hughes. Last play Roosters. Uelu finds Walker. He again punts it down. Fill onto the chest of Connor Tracy. The Dogs are away again. The fullback stopped 25 out from his own line. 20 in from the eastern side. It's no score. 4.5 gone first half. John Gibbs on the touchline.
Well, it was good to see Martin Awonga-Nawaze take a good ball because in that round 11 clash clash earlier in the year when the Bulldogs won. He had a shocker. He dropped 3 or 4 of them, but also scored what I consider the try of the decade. His kick out on the edge, trying to do something. Good tackle by Toya.
And he's made there, the tackle made there by Toya in concert with Hugo Savala, right in front of you, Gibbsy. 5 short of the halfway here, the Bulldogs. Tackled and playing it now, Carraz. Haywood, low ball now for Galvin. Has good vision to kick across the field here toward the wing of Tupou. He flies up 30 out from his own line. Looked to offload back to his skipper. Tedesco was waiting for it. He's dragged down there, Tupou, by Stephen Crichton, the Canterbury skipper. And here they go again, the Roosters. Still no score here. 5.5 gone first half on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs. And of course, we send our love and strength to our colleague Andrew Moore, still recovering in hospital. Here is Rob Toya, 40 out centre field. Tedesco on again to that left edge now for Angus Crichton. His own side of halfway. He stopped 3 short of that halfway stripe. Yawelu in close to his skipper Tedesco. Offloads back here to Nafahu White. Kick out was filled, and that means Nafahu White will surrender here with nothing on up ahead. So they come to the right-hand side. Last play, Savala's kick. Again, high in the air, down towards Connor Tracy. 80 out from his own line, and he gets nailed there by Victor Radley. And he'll play it now. 15 out, 20 in from the western side, Luke Lewis. It will be the first penalty of the game going the way of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Bulldogs get the first penalty of the game coming out their own end, which is they were looking for it, because you can tell you what, the speed of this game in the opening 7 minutes or so, it has been absolutely flying. I was just looking at the body language of the Roosters. They're doing a really good job in defence. They're getting downfield nicely. They're using their energy in their first 3 plays, but when they're actually trying to get out of their own end with the ball, they've got no shape. They're so tired. They're over their haunches. So really fast start to this game.
Greg at Ride says cock-a-doodle-doo. Trish, of course, a mad Rooster in Concord. She's listening as well. There's no score here so far at the Sydney Football Stadium. The Dogs off that western side of the back of the penalty, and 40 out from that Roosters line. Tackled and playing it now is Sam Hughes. Dummy half Haywood. Now Salmon. Inside ball for King. Straight his run there towards that wall of Roosters defence. 35 out, middle of the park. Played to Haywood. He's moving to the left-hand side now again. Inside ball from Galvin. Back on the inside to Stephen Crichton. And claim 25 out. Right-hand side of the uprights. Salmon, first receiver. On here again. Galvin, the inside ball for Viliami kick out. With a half break there before he is stopped in there by Spencer Leniu. And back to the left-hand side now. Burton, a deft kick. Up in the air for Carraz on the wing. He loses the ball. And that will be a Bulldogs error. And it will be a play the ball here for the Roosters coming up 10 out from their own line, northern end of the Sydney Football Stadium. 7.5 gone first half. Sydney Roosters 0, the Bulldogs 0. John Gibb from the touchline.
Yeah, kicking is plenty of that so far, and being handled fairly comfortably by both sides, except for those first couple that Luke referred to when they let it bounce, which was just incredible. But the Roosters under a bit of pressure. They can't afford an error here.
There is a nice run there from Wani Tawaze. 25 out from that northern line. Played the Uelu. And Spencer Leniu, good pace. Bit of a post-contact drag there on Haywood and also Burton. Uelu finds his captain Tedesco. And he tries to just thread past one tackle of Haywood, brought down now by Salmon, 7 short of halfway. It's come to Sam Walker, kicks him just behind the halfway line. Tried to catch Connor Tracy out of position, but the Canterbury fullback does field the ball now. Up the right edge he goes. He bounced off Billy Smith, shrugs away Walker. He changes direction here, comes right across his own goal here, Connor Tracy. Now fed to the left-hand side. Opportunity now for the Bulldogs. They're away in open space. Good chase there on Sherry. It was well done in the end by Sam Walker. Sherry stopped 5 short of halfway. Kickout receives it now from his next play of the ball, and he's cut down straight away by Radley. The Roosters, strong defence after a good Bulldogs break. Still no score here at the Sydney Football Stadium. As Hughes puts up the fend there on Nafahu. White dragged down 6 minutes inside Roosters territory. To the right-hand side, Haywood, and now the kick from the half-back Galvin, bounced into the in-goal area. Tedesco there first. His best option with Crichton bearing down is to run the ball dead. Line drop out. Roosters repeat set. Canterbury-Bankstown. It's no score here early on. 9 gone first half. Luke Lewis.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't see that set coming there from the Bulldogs. I thought Connor Tracy, when he first got the ball, he did a really good job to break the tackle. Then he was going backwards at a very quick rate and a couple of nice little passes. And then all of a sudden they're in the backfield there of the Roosters, and a nice little shift over that right edge. Great little kick there from Lockie Galvin and an outstanding chase from the Bulldogs to get a repeat.
And it's a long drop out here off the bit of Billy Smith. It goes beyond the halfway and run all the way back there, retrieved by Lockie Galvin, 38 to his own line. By the way, earlier in Auckland, New Zealand Warriors 14, St George Illawarra 10, and those Player of the Year points, 3 David Clemmer, 2 Jackson Ford, and 1 to Matt Feeney, as awarded by Dean Hallertau. Now Kennedy again going the Bulldogs' way, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, that was for a bit of a hip drop there. I think it was Billy Smith who actually lands on the back of the Bulldogs player's ankle. So that's why the penalty got blown for. But that was a very nice carry there. I think it might have been Samuel Hughes, but I can't really see in that replay. But yeah, I think it was.
Back to the touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, they're the type of tackles. It's on report, that tackle by Billy Smith. It was Sam Hughes, Louis. It was a great run. He went past 3 or 4 defenders. But they're the tackles that they're really looking at. He's lucky probably to stay on. He could have got 10 in the bin in the current climate.
On you, Gibbsy. A fine touch on the eastern side here, the Bulldogs, and they tap 30 out from that Roosters line, northern end of the Sydney Football Stadium. On that right edge, they are here with Hayward, who sets up behind Preston, finds King first receiver, ploughs into Nafahu White, dragged down there by White and also Leniu. 15 out, right-hand side of the uprights. Opportunity here for the Bulldogs. 11 going first half, still no score. Galvin, show and go. The inside ball back to Bronson Sherry, and he's claimed 10 out now, left-hand side of the post. Hayward, open side right, he goes. Low ball for Galvin. And now again here with Jamin Salmon, takes 3 Roosters with him. He's already shy of that northern line now. Hayward for the right-hand side, Galvin. Delayed pass to his captain, Crichton. Cut out ball does go to Tawala, who's back on the inside, and Canterbury's in first. Rapturous cheering here at the Sydney Football Stadium. You wouldn't know they were the away team. It's 4-0 Bulldogs kick to come. 11 going first half on ABC Sport, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, Nari Tawala goes over. Really nice skilly from the Bulldogs. I thought they were going to play short. They had a couple of different options, but the passing here from the Bulldogs, from out of dummy half, really nice wide pass to find Lockie Galvin. Preston doing a really good job of running that down line, and then plays at the back, which creates a space there for Stephen Crichton. Now, does he play short, dummy, or does he go long? And this time he goes long, finds Nari Tawala, comes off his right foot and goes over as easy as you like. Beautiful skill there from the Bulldogs.
Scored 2 tries against the Warriors last week. Gibbsy, he's in here first.
Yeah, he's in good try-scoring form, Nari Tawala, and he was out for a long time injured this year, so he's doing a great job on that right wing, and that was beautiful play there. He's a quality player, Jacob Preston, on that right edge. He does a really good job, can score him himself, but set that one up, and he went off the right foot. And I've got to say, I reckon there's as many Bulldogs here as Roosters at the SFS.
Well, if not, they're making more noise, certainly. Good on you, Gibbsy. Bring a good crowd wherever they go, especially when they've had 15 wins for the year, the Bulldogs. A good start here for them. Stephen Crichton is 21 metres out here and 5 metres in from the eastern side. Having last week 6 out of 8. Scored a try himself as well, the Bulldogs captain, to make it a 6-0 start here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Tough angle. Right side for a left footer. Head over the ball now. In he comes. It's a pretty sweet. Yeah, that's straight enough. Bulldogs 6, Roosters 0. 13 going first half here on ABC Sport here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Derek and Ann from Howard in Queensland. Spooky, great footy, but it's just not the same without when your favourite uncle is at well. Big love to the footy world, says Derek and Ann, of course referring to our great mate Andrew Moore. Greg says Luke to coach Origin. That's a stretch. Hi, Luke and John. How about a 90-minute draw as a result to further muddy the final standings, says Paul and Wollongong. That would be something. As I worked it out here, the Roosters, if they win, they'll jump to 7, unless they win by a lot, could go 6. But as I said, Broncos, Dolphins, Sharks all play tomorrow. The Bulldogs win, they'll remain 3rd because of Melbourne's superior for and against. And of course, they're still a game behind the Raiders. So it's the situation there as far as these two sides. And of course, 3 rounds to go after this one. Played by Hughes, 12 out from his own line, southern end. And now Carraz bounced off that pack. fed the pass back to Hughes, who makes no real gain here. 15 out from his own line. Kick out left edge, gets the wheels in motion, but he's nailed there by Collins. And there's going to be a break in play while someone's being assessed. Hugo Savala's being assessed in back play here.
He did go down a bit funny. He got into that tackle a bit awkward on Billy Army. He gets his head in the wrong spot.
Ooh, yeah.
As he goes down, he sort of does a little bit of a lay down, and then he realises, I can't lay down, I've got to get back up. And he tries to run back on side. But I reckon he'll go off for a HIA here.
Up and right in front of you, John Gibbs.
Yeah, no, he went down. He's going to say he's staying on. I'll check this out, though. I don't know whether... I think the independent doctor could overrule here because there was definitely a period, you're right, Louis, where he just lapsed for a moment and then realised, I better wake up quick.
All right, Gibbsy, back to you shortly. Burton's kick into the set. Just skids here away from Tedesco. Bats back the possible 40-20 into the field of play. It was a nice kick from Burton, as we've become accustomed to seeing across his career. Tedesco tackled 20 out, 10 in from the western side. Bulldogs 6, Chooks 0. The scoreline here, 14 going first half on ABC Sport this Friday night game. Wangani Tawaze now tackled 22 out, and now it's going to be penalty going the Roosters' way. A little too slow on the right, the Bulldogs. So penalty count 2-1, scoreline 6-0 Canterbury.
Yeah, well, the Roosters needed that because the Bulldogs are doing a good job of kicking that ball down and getting their first 3 tackles around that 20-metre zone and not giving too much field position to the Roosters. So a big kick upfield here. They'll probably get the ball just over halfway, in fact, right on halfway, and they'll get a good set against the Bulldogs in this position.
Repeating a few minutes ago, as Gibbsy mentioned, Billy Smith on report for a hip drop on Sam Hughes, so that was made a few minutes ago. Here's Collins on a straightening run, 40 up from Canterbury's line. Dummy half your way, Lou. Off to Walker. Lenu punching through that line now. He spins away from Salmon, stopped there by Haywood and also King. And he'll play it there, 30 out centre field. Uelu off to Nafahu White. Inside ball from Savala back to Radley. And he's taken 35 out from that southern line to which the Roosters are attacking. Walker back to Nafahu White. Gains a few more metres now, but he's back to the 30-metre line. Uelu, it's going to be a set restart here. So a full 6 now for the Roosters. Uelu goes himself from dummy half. Stop there, 25 out. Nafahu White with a flat ball to Walker. Onto the left-hand side, Crichton. Steamrolls Galvin, cut down there by Crichton. 15 out, 10 in from the eastern side. Roosters with a dangerous look now on attack. Walker. Delayed pass here, off to Smith, and he backs his way into 3 Bulldogs in defence. Taken down 11 out from that southern goal line in front of the post. Uelu to the right side for Walker, and now Tedesco. Dummies away from Burton, feeds the pass back to Uelu. Left-hand side shift, Nafahu White with a half break, but Preston gets him. 7 out left-hand side of the uprights. Uelu will go again from dummy half, share it with Collins. Couple of plays left. In fact, it's the last play here for the Roosters. Meter out. Uelu to Walker. He kicks for the corner, and Tupou launches, plants it down. There is try 180, Daniel Tupou. He levels Steve Menzies for 4th all time, and most importantly tonight scores the home side first try. 6-4, kick to come Roosters, 15 going first half. Luke Lewis on ABC Sport.
Yeah, well, the Roosters, they get a penalty, they kick upfield, they keep asking a couple of questions, they get a set restart, and then on the 5th play here, Sam Walker down the short side gets a beautiful little kick. And it's funny, the crowd is so accustomed to Daniel Tupou getting up above most opposition numbers, and he scores a great try. You can see the crowd go absolutely nuts before he even caught the ball, and he comes down and scores another great try for the Roosters.
As soon as the ball left Walker's boot, the crowd were up. Down to you.
Yeah, 180. That's pretty impressive. The dance is on at the moment all around Australasia as well. But that was really beautiful, that kick there from Sam Walker. And his try assists in recent weeks have been fantastic. They got the repeat set. There was some good work by Uelu, and Lindsay Collins went close. There was a quick play of the ball, and the rest is history. I've got to say, Billy Army Kickow is on a mission. He is trying to decapitate players. Well, cut him in half anyway. He is coming in so hard.
Great stuff, Gibbsy. Here is Sam Walker. 25 metres out, metre in from the eastern side. Goes to reset the tee here. Greg in Thuril says, sorry guys, loving the call. Can you please tell me when there's an obstruction play like earlier? Why is the illegal... Oh, here we go. That's a little longer one. Sorry, Greg. Back to that in a second. Watch the Walker kick first. Bulldogs very suspect under the high ball, says Jeff in Sunshine. What a start to the game. Fast game early on, Gibbsy, as was last night's contest at Western Sydney Stadium. where, of course, Melbourne beat Penrith in Golden Point. Here's Walker. A sideline conversion from the eastern side. Right foot kick. Away it goes. Over it goes. It's 6 points all here at the SFS. Roosters Bulldogs, 17 gone first half. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Can you please tell me, says Greg, or ask Greg, when there's an obstruction play like earlier, why is the illegal play nullified when the man with the ball succumbs to the tackle? I mean, if the play goes ahead and they score a try, it gets called back.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one where Nafahu White just stopped. Because he stopped and he knew that if he moved, it was going to be a penalty. He just stopped there. But I actually, with the text, I think it should be still a penalty in that situation.
Brendan Funnell of Queensland says, first up, best wishes to Andrew in his recovery. Can you please explain why you callers always assume that a team will get the ball back off a drop back, considering the short drop outs these days? Brett, that's a great point. That's on me. I always say repeat set for the team receiving, even though they don't always receive. That's great feedback, and you're right. 15 out from that northern line. Open side right they go. Here's Tupou, the try scorer, with a centre field run. Gains about 7 more metres here. 23 out from that northern line. The Roosters running away from Iwalu to Nafahu White. Centre field run now for the big fella. Stopped there by Sam Hughes, 30 out. Iwalu. Back to the left-hand side now for Angus Crichton. And he is tackled by Preston. Early kick does come from behind the 40 here from Iwalu. It bounces down toward the corner there, but Connor Tracy runs back on his own goal line and now gains a few more metres before he's met by Radley and Collins, and he'll play it now quickly for Burton. He gains half a dozen. He's gone a full 360 in the Collins tackle. 15 out, 20 in from the western side. 6 all the scoreline here, Roosters Bulldogs on ABC Sport. 18 gone, 22 left in this first half. Hayward dummy half. This is play 4 now for the Bulldogs. Tackle 30 out from their own line. And now early kick does come from Hayward at dummy half, just like Iwalu at the other end. This bounces down towards that north-eastern corner. Picked up by Tupou. Lost his footing, took a big dip out of that turf. Shares it back to Tedesco. He's got some open run now. Shrugs away Burton and kicker. Feeds it to Tawaze. Up the right edge here. The flick pass was left wanting. He saw Toyer on the inside/outside as he went sort of ran behind Tawaze. So he didn't receive the pass, Rob Toyer. And that means the ball goes right over the western touchline, and it will be a Bulldogs ball, 30 out from that northern line. Roosters 6, Bulldogs 6, 19 gone first half on the touchline. John Gibbs.
Well, Robert Toye stayed out and then he went in, and Tawaze got all tangled up. And as a result, good work though by James Tedesco. We saw Connor Tracy do a similar thing at the other end, but that one went awry, and here comes the Bulldogs. Great field position.
There's a run from Hughes. Tackled low by Collins. Up top, Radley, 25 out. From that northern line, Hayward looks right but goes left. Burton back on the inside now for his fellow former Panther in Viliami Kikau. 20 out, 20 in from the western side. Hayward, open side right. Low ball there now for Jamin Savin. Slips over as he receives that ball. Collins all over him as well. Bulldogs here on play 3, centre field 20 out. 6 all the scoreline here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Inside ball, Galvin. Off here again to Jacob Preston, and he's collected 15 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Second last play as Hayward finds King onto Salmon. Left-hand side switch, Galvin to kick out. Big power, but not quite enough to break the tackle of Radley and Savala. Play at 10 out now, last play, Hayward. On the right-hand side, Galvin. Crossfield bomb on that goal line now. Or Tupou was in front of him was Crichton. Batted back now for Tracy. Still the last Bulldogs as it's kicked by Galvin into the in-goal area under the 2 deep. And that will be a restart from 20 and 7 tackles for the Roosters at 6 on the scoreline here, Luke Lewis. 20 gone, 20 left in the first half on ABC Sport.
Yeah, Lockie Galvin, he'd be filthy on himself there with that kick right at the end. Got a good bit of pressure coming at him, and he couldn't pull up that kick, gets it dead and gives away a 7-tackle set. But I'll tell you what, it's end-to-end stuff at the moment. Both sides making good metres. Both sides are flirting for that 40-20 as well. They're getting very, very close to getting one.
Earlier in Auckland, the Warriors 14 beat St George at Illawarra 10. In the women's comp in Queensland, full-time there, Brisbane Tigers 30 have beaten North Devils 16. Meanwhile, midway through the set here now for the Roosters. Crichton, 5 short of halfway. Shares it now with Tedesco. wrapped up there by Viliami Kikau. It's tackle 3 of 7, comes to the right-hand side. Zavala, no look past to Victor Radley, and Radley is claimed 30 out. 12 in from the western side, Uelu. Open side left now again, Walker. Inside to Nafahu White. Hughes all over him, and Nafahu White still standing. Will play it now for Benaya Uelu. To the left-hand side he goes. Last play, Roosters. Walker's kick, high again. Tupou goes up, he's not in scoring range. He feeds it back now to Crichton. The back rower kicks across the goals here. It's centred the in-goal area. Oh, dropped by the Bulldogs, and eventually he pounced on there by Jacob Carraz. Yeah, it was dropped by Bronson Sherry behind the goals, but very nearly an effective kick from back rower Angus Crichton.
It was a great kick, wasn't it? It goes a bit deep, but the kick's only as good as its chase. Had a good chase there, put a bit of pressure on Bronson Sherry, comes up with a drop. But again, I just love the crowd. The Nari Tuala must be feeling that pressure. Every time that ball goes straight up, the crowd are on their feet waiting for Daniel Tupou to come up with that catch.
I haven't seen a back rower kick that well since last week's Old Boys game at Cogra with Luke Lewis. Down to you shortly, Gibbsy, as we just get back underway here from a short dropout. Tupou launches here and brings it down, 10 out from that Bulldogs lines. Opportunity for the Roosters. 6 all the scoreline here at the football stadium. Walker to Uelu. Off to Lindsay Collins, and Collins collected by Viliami Kikau. 18 out centre field, Uelu. With a flat ball now for Walker. Speaking of flat, that was the feet there of Harry Hayes. Missed the tackle. Collins goes again here, but he is met by Sam Hughes. 10 out right-hand side of the post. Blind side now as Uelu finds Zavala. He gains a few more. He's 6 out from the Canterbury line. Uelu back here to Fahu White. Second last play. Footy's come loose. It deflected away. Back in the path of the Bulldogs. Galvin off to Tracy, and he gets nailed there by Billy Smith. 15 out, 20 in from the eastern side. A fast start to this first half at the Sydney Football Stadium. It is still the Sydney Roosters 6, the Bulldogs 6 here on ABC Sport. Now it will be a penalty going the Bulldogs' way again. This time the Roosters defence was too slow, and Spencer Leniu was penalised. John Gibbs, down to you.
Yeah, well, Spencer Leniu on that occasion, he's the one that came up with a lost ball, and then he loses his discipline. That was ridiculous what he's just done. The execution in the play before that was, they mucked it up a little bit like Nwanganitawaze previously, and Toya, that one then he compounded it. Though he gives good field position out of nothing to the Dogs.
Lindsay Collins spoke during the week, Louis, about having to curb their controlled or have controlled aggression. I think Spencer Leniu is one of the teammates he's certainly talking about.
Yeah, but you know what? It's all of them too. Victor Badley, all these guys have got a lot of aggression. If you can control in the right way, it definitely goes a long way to help them get the win.
16:40 left in this first half on ABC Sport. There is the run now from Harry Hayes. In his second year in first grade football. Played now to Hayward. Bulldogs on the attack. Played 3 with a scoreline of 6 all. Oh, lost by Curran. It's come back here for the Roosters, so it's play on. And for that 0 tackle, he's brought down there. Uelu, very slow getting up. That'll be penalty Roosters, as he was hit pretty high there by Harry Hayes. And now being assessed on field, Benaya Uelu. Text shortly 0467920222. John Gibbs, back down to you.
Yeah, and Uelu's all right. He got the once over by the trainer. He's fine. A high tackle low, and now the Roosters get good field position. High quality game, but just a few errors have crept in.
Penalty count 3-2 Bulldogs in this game so far. Roosters on the attack. 35 out from that southern line here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Played out there by Butcher. He's out there. So too Connor Watson at dummy half. Of course, both starting on the bench. Watson sets up in here behind Leniu, 30 out centre field. Zavala to Walker. Flat ball now, Crichton. Takes on, well, his namesake, Stephen Crichton. So it's Angus on Stephen. And he's tackled 25 out, 12 in from the eastern side. New South Wales teammates. Walker back on the inside now for Regan Butcher. And he's collected now, 15 out, left-hand side of the uprights. This will be play 4, make it 5 now for the Roosters. Watson with a kick now from Walker. Did Crichton, that's the Stephen Ridey, get in Toya's way? Yes, he'll come back here for a Roosters penalty. 15 left in the first half, and it remains Roosters 6, Bulldogs 6, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, Billy Smith was the communication between him and Sam Walker. Well, you knew the kick was coming early. He started to run. He gets taken out. He's claiming that Lockie Galvin should go to 10, but he's just saying no. He's definitely not. It's just a penalty if inside the 10. So nice little kick, and I reckon they get lucky there. You know what? I reckon it's a little bit of Hollywood watching that second.
Galvin, yeah, it was Galvin on Walker. That was the concept on the kicker, but then
It was Stephen Crichton.
then Stephen Crichton and Billy Smith get tangled up as well. So I don't know if they've penalised. Are they penalised Galvin or have they? No.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They got the penalty anyway. The Roosters are going to get I think they're going to take the 2 anyway from where they are. Well, they should be.
John Gibbs on the touchline.
Yeah, they'll be taking it too, Louis. Points at a premium tonight. This is such a crucial game. And Sam Walker, we saw him get one from the sideline. Stephen Crichton. Sam Walker, that 27 out of 28 that he's got so far is amazing. He missed his last shot against the Dolphins last week. Before that, he kicked 27 straight. So not only is he setting up tries, every time they score a try, it's invariably 6 points, which is really handy.
Yeah, offside penalty, Galvin, as you mentioned, Louis. So that's how it stands as Sam Walker lines up the kick. 20 out, 20 in from the eastern side to give the Roosters the lead. They did trail after the Yanari Tuala try, which came in the 10th minute. Daniel Tupou scored 5 minutes later, but the home side, who appear outnumbered or at least outvoiced by the passionate Canterbury-Bankstown fans this Friday evening at the SFX. Walker, penalty, over it goes. He's 2 from 2, and it's Roosters 8, Bulldogs 6 here on ABC Sport. Mentioned that Queensland women's full-time score, Brisbane Tigers 30, North Devils 16. AFLW full-time, Sydney Swans have beaten Richmond by 20 points at North Sydney Oval. AFL, that's the men's comp, half-time. Essendon lead secured by 1 point, and in the first quarter in Perth, Fremantle and Brisbane no score as yet. 0467 920 222. Great call, team. Hope Andrew's on the mend. The Bloomfield boys miss him, from Kyle, the Goanna supporter. And Glenn Mackay says, listening whilst waiting to pick up my daughter from work. Great call, Better Doggies. Thank you, Glenn. And Greg hustled his best to Andrew Moore as well. 20 out from that northern line is where the Roosters get the ball back from the kickoff, and they lead the game 8-6. Luke Lewis here on ABC Sports, setting up Connor Watson, dummy half. Open side right here for Nafahu White. Been busy in this game, hasn't he, Nafahu White? Play at 30 out from his own line. Butcher, through hands again. It comes to Tedesco, but Burton dragged him down from behind. And the Roosters skipper had played 8 sort of halfway. Dicey there from Burton in defence, making away the penalty, but nothing doing, says referee Grant Atkins. Now it's last play Roosters on halfway with Butcher. Watson feeds the pass to Savala. His kick, high into the night sky, comes down on the chest of Connor Tracy. Back in the side this week, and he gets nailed by Spencer Leniu, 25 out from his own line.
Yeah, there's a bit of a hole opening up there. It was beautiful footwork there from Connor Tracy. He beat Connor Watson all ends up, and then Spencer Leniu just bends his back nicely, gets a beautiful shot on. But again, it's just end-to-end stuff. It's really the penalties that are separating these two sides, that are gifting the field position. So there's going to be squeaky clean here, the Roosters. They can't afford to give away a penalty now.
Joey Atkins resets the play here, 30 out from that southern line. And it's the Roosters who lead 8 points to 6. 11:40 left in this first half. Haywood off to Kurt Mann. Off the bench here for the Bulldogs. And he's tackled 7 short of the halfway. Haywood back here now for Galvin. His kick on the second last play goes high down towards the chest of James Tedesco. Facing his own goal line, 10 out now from that northern end. And he gets back there towards the 20, where he's met solidly by Harry Hayes. Tedesco will play it there for Savala. Now the run from Normani Tawaze meets 4 Bulldogs just shy of the 30-metre line. Kickout and Curran, Hayes among them. Dummy half Walker off here to Celesi for Keddy. Debuted back in round 1 against Brisbane, still 19 years of age, the Kiwi. Play at 40 out. Tedesco looks back to the right-hand side now for Butcher. Moves on the inside of Curran, but he's tackled by Kurt Mann. Metre short of halfway here, Roosters. This is second last play. Fed from Walker. Off now again to Angus Crichton. 40 out, 20 in the eastern touchline. Watson dummy half. Open side right. Walker's kick goes high and long downfield toward the chest of Connor Tracy. And the Bulldogs fullback gets out of his own 10-metre line, and he's tackled 15 out now. It remains Roosters 8, Canterbury 6, 10 and a half left in the opening half here on ABC Sport. Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, there's nothing really doing at the moment. It's a dead set arm wrestle, both sides making a heap of metres. It's very, very fast, and it's just a matter of time. As someone missing a simple tackle, a little bit of individual brilliance that's going to set this game apart, but not a whole lot happening.
Play for Bulldogs. Haywood to Mann. Swung across the right-hand side might again now involve Preston. It takes 3 Roosters to stop him. 35 out from that southern line. Hayward does find man centre field. Tried to just move back on the inside now of Egan Butcher, but he is stopped by the Roosters back rower. And now again Galvin up the right edge. Stephen Crichton's come off Walker at 6 ball Bulldogs. Yes, it is. A full set now inside the Roosters half. Galvin feeds it back now to Harry Hayes, but will come back and just reset where that set did begin. He's saying penalty Roosters. What was the issue here, Luke? John Gibbs getting on the touchline.
Yeah, offside there. There was a ricochet when Stu Crichton went to a player in front of him, and as a result, the penalty went, and that was on the advice that touch showed Matt Noyan on that eastern side.
Okay, very helpful, Gibbsy. Thank you very much. Roosters 8, Bulldogs 6 here, 9.5 left.
Still didn't see it in the replay. Well, Gibbsy's probably got a better view down there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm backing our mate down there.
You got the eagle eyes. Gibbsy has sea eagle eyes. 30 out, 20 in from the eastern side as the Roosters are on the attack with an 8-6 lead here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Watson dummy half to Walker. Inside ball Nafahu White, and he's brought to the turf there by Kurt Mann. Of course, a recent 200 gamer in his origin debut this year. Nafahu White now to Watson. At dummy halves. Well, swings it right hand side, Butcher. Cut down by Harry Hayes and Bailey Hayward. 25 out centre field. Watson off here again to Fiketti. Inside ball, Walker off to Billy Smith, and Curran takes his legs. Galvin up top in concert with Kurt Mann as well. 22 out now for the Roosters. This will be second last play as it comes to Walker, and now to Desco. That ball only to Waze. Steps he back on the inside of Carraz, but he's stopped there by 3 Bulldogs. Good defensive support coming in there with Cherry and Burton. 12 out now, Roosters last play. 8-6 their lead. Walker's crossfield got bomb with a Tupou wing, and he was impeded down there. The ball does come loose for Tupou to pounce on it and score his second try. But, have a listen, Grant Atkins saying...
Okay, Adam. I'm starting with a no try. I've got Daniel Tupou offside after the second kick. Can you also please review a possible escort by Nari?
That explains why Tupou was there so quickly.
No, he's definitely onside here. He's 100% onside, but when he goes to tap the ball back, it hits the ground.
Kick chaser onside from the Roosters.
And that will be the second kick. It's when he hits the ground, where is he there, Daniel Tupou? He gets up nice and high here.
A few things happen here, so he's
I have a feeling
got to compete with Sawala.
Just want to get an angle on Anari Tuawala to see if he escorts Daniel Tupou.
But it doesn't. It comes off a Rooster, so he shouldn't matter anyway. No, correct.
That's my live read, G.
Just having a chat to each other there.
But Anari Tuawala, I feel like he's allowed to go and get that ball. He can't be, just saying that he's taking him out. It's a tough one. But then it comes off a Rooster.
Does it go forward?
And then he's offside. So it's going to be offside by Stephen Crichton. So Daniel Tupou will score the try, but Angus Crichton kicks the ball. Daniel Tupou's offside.
So
it's just going to come down as he...
There's no escort. Anari Tuawala is trying to get into a position to contest.
Yep, I agree. Then it comes off Angus Crichton.
So he just toes it forward, little toe poke.
And then Daniel Tupou dives on the ball and he's offside.
Okay, so it'll be Bulldogs ball.
ABC Sports, Sydney.
Thank you, Louis. Down to you, John Gibbs.
Yeah, that's correct, Louis. What they were looking at for a long time
by Daniel Tupou at this point
to see whether or not Anari Tuawala had come up with an escort. As soon as they ruled that out, it was always offside.
So he falls on the ball and there's a grounding, but it's more about, he shouldn't have been there anyway.
Just need to determine if the ball hits where Angus Crichton is post this contact and if it hits his foot.
He kicks it. He's offside. What are you looking at?
Daniel Tupou is now in front of the kick from Angus Crichton.
We got there.
I could have told you that.
And he becomes involved.
Thanks
we
to
have
Lewis
a decision.
and John Gibbs. So the penalty Bulldogs and remain 8-6 Roosters. The scoreline Gibbs, the 8 left in the first half.
Yeah, well, that was incredible because that was obvious. He just wanted to look whether it touched his foot. He kicked it. He kicked it, and when you kick it, the foot is involved, and it was a knock-on as soon as they cleared Tuawala, not an escort, not a disruptor. It was going to be a
Gibbsy. It's all about all available angles. Thank you very much. Bulldogs penalty at that side end of the Sydney Football Stadium. 8-6 is the Roosters lead, and the doggies find touch on the eastern side here. Into your text shortly, 0467 920 222. And I'll just focus on this very fast game for the time being. Josh Curran, driven back, 35 out from his own line. Hayward, dummy half here. Onto Kurt Mann. Galvin now back on the inside for Bronson Sherry, who played 19 games last year. It's his 20th game now in 2025. Second year back from his drug ban. Scored a try last time these sides met back around 11. Right-hand side shift, they go here, the Bulldogs. And stopped just short of the halfway out. There is the back rower Preston. Played to Hayward. Open side left for Kurt Mann, takes on Watson, so too for Keddy, and stopped 5 inside Roosters territory. This is second last play, Bulldogs. Tracy explodes away here, good acceleration, but Nafahu White and Sam Walker stop him 40 out. Hayward finds Burton, off a step, a high kick down towards that northern end. It'll sit there for Daniel Tupou, takes it 5 out from his own line. Roosters back on the attack, but Tupou is stopped there by Harry Hayes, and he'll play it 5 out from those northern upright. Talaze makes light work of Bailey Hayward, and it will be here a penalty going the Roosters' way. With saying,
It was a flop. No, it was a flop by Curran. It was a really nice run there by Nawonga-Nitawaze. He just gets down nice and strong, good footwork, busts through a tackle, and as he gets to go play the ball, Curran comes over and jumps on top of him for a flop. So that's why he get a penalty. But another great kick upfield, and the Roosters will get a tap 40 out in their own line.
6.5 left in this first half on ABC Sport. Penalty count now is 5-4 the Roosters' way, and the home side rumbles upfield here with the services of Egan Butcher. Watson at dummy half, open side left. Walker back on the inside to Nafahu White. What feels like his 20th carry of this game so far. 8 minutes inside Canterbury territory. Dummy half Watson spots up Walker, steps on the inside of Curran, offloads back here to Angus Crichton, goes the fend there on Galvin. Now Watson shapes it back to the right hand side here for Keddy to Butcher, and he's put on his back down there by Burton, and also a kick out. 25 out centre field. This is a few plays left. Roosters comes from Savala to Tedesco. Tedesco goes the fend there on Sherry, and brought back 25 out. 10 in from the western touchline, not far away from Gibbsy. Down to him shortly. Second last play, Roosters. Fed through hands, Savala, and now for Keddy. He went low there in the tackle of Harry Hayes. He'll play it now 25 out. End of the set, Watson finds Walker. Running kick again to Tupou's wing. He's after it now. Tawala goes up, competes with Tupou. It's going to be last play still here, the Roosters. Egan Butcher to Watson. He puts in the kick. Fielded by Kickow. Was a drop by Viliami Kickow. Either way, he'll play it 12 out from his own line, southern end. I suppose you could say it was a charge down, maybe. Doesn't matter. It's going to be here. Bulldogs on the attack. 20 out, 20 in from the western side. Roosters 8, Bulldogs 6, 4:50 left first half.
Yeah, that was a really good take there by Viliami Kickow. It's Connor Watson. You could see the signal from Tedesco to put a kick in goal, and then he mishit it and goes straight into Viliami's hands. Now here comes the Bulldogs with an offload out their own.
Yeah, effective tackle here from the Roosters. The Kurt Mann carries the ball, but it will be a knock on Bulldogs in that chain somewhere. John Gibbs on the touchline.
And that was a call from the touch judge in front of me on the western touchline. Dave Mundo's given that decision, so a few errors here, and they're getting quite vociferous, the Bulldogs players among each other. Bailey Hayward is yelling his head off, but the Roosters a great chance to score 4 minutes before half time.
Scrum feed 30 out from that southern end. By the way, Baker Boy is performing, Louis, at half time. Baker Boy is the artist who does our Indigenous round opener here on our ABC coverage. He's performing live here at the Sydney Football Stadium, so we'll see if we can bring us up with that. Otherwise, it'll be ABC News time. Tedesco, 30 out centre field. 8-6 is the Roosters' lead. Watson on this second play, spots up for Ketty, tackled by Mann, Hayward and Curran, 20 out centre field. Watson goes left-hand side now for Walker as Egan Butcher hits the line at speed here. 15 out, 20 in from the east. So it's Crichton out there, the other back rower. Plays it now for Watson. Now it's Egan Butcher on a centre field run, gets within 7 metres now of that Canterbury-Bankstown line. Watson dummy half on play 4. Comes back to the left-hand side. There was a short ball there for Nafahu White, dragged down there by Hayward. Last play, Roosters. Metre and a half out, left-hand side of the post. Watson here to Crichton. Shoves it back here. Curran there first. Play on here to Nafahu White, who slides in to score. Oh, that was a mess for the Bulldogs defence. They coughed up the footy and Nafahu White makes the easiest of tries, left-hand side of the post, and extends the Roosters' lead. 12-6 kick to come, 2:50 left in this first half, Luke Lewis.
Well, I won't be writing this in just yet, Springy. I just want to watch the replay here. There's a really nice strong carry there by Angus Crichton. He gets stopped in his tracks. And then, I think does he knock it on here, Stephen Crichton? Angus Crichton. I think he might retouch with his hands. Got to watch his second replay. He goes in, he gets a nice offload. It comes off current.
Off current, and then it's batted forward by Angus Crichton.
I don't know if it was Angus Crichton's hand or if it was a Bulldogs hand, because it didn't show us a good view there, but I'm going to stick with the referee on this one. He was in a good position.
How many fingers does the hand have? That's how you know if it's Angus Crichton. It comes back to... Oh, no, it's come off Curran's forearm. It's come off Curran's forearm, and then Nafahu White. This will be try Gibbsy directly in front. He had a kick from Sam Walker.
Yeah, and it was sloppy there from the Bulldogs. They should have been able to tidy that up. Good desperation from Angus Crichton. He did a good job to get it back, and had another player that went off the forearm of Curran, and Nafahu White, 53rd game, scores his third try, his second for the year. But that was good pressure there from the Roosters. They've really come to get the Bulldogs the last 10 minutes.
This is why we see all at double angles, Louis, so we can see those little things, because the first 2 or 3 or 10 don't always tell us.
Good dodge at the start.
Here's the kick from Sam Walker. 13 out, slight angle left-hand side to make it 14-6 with a minute 40 left, and the flags are up. Sam Walker is 3 from 3, 2 conversions, 1 penalty so far tonight. He was 10 from 11 last week. And the try from Nafahu White converted here for the Sydney Roosters. Earlier in Auckland at Mount Smart Stadium, New Zealand Warriors 14, St George Illawarra Dragons 10. Now around the grounds in the AFL, third quarter, Essendon 42 leads St Kilda 41, and the first quarter, Brisbane 19 leads Fremantle 3. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs here on ABC Sport, with halftime beckoning here at the Sydney Football Stadium. It's a low, skiddy kick-off here from the Bulldogs, out to Angus Crichton, and he's tackled 25 out, 18 from the eastern side. Walker back here to Billy Smith, on report in that first half for a hip drop on Sam Hughes. A play at 30 out. Watson dummy half here for the Roosters. Spots up for Ketty. Good post contact gain here away from Mann and also Hayward. Played 40 out here. Watson slips off the deck here. Finds Egan Butcher. Up the left edge he goes. Minute and 5 seconds left here in this first 40 on ABC Sport. 14-6 the scoreline. Play 4 Roosters. Walker off here again, through the gap, and here goes Savala, is a run down. Good second effort there from Xiaomi Mi kick out to stop him. Played to Watson. They roll on here towards Sam Walker. He kicks from 30 out. High in the air it goes. Batted back by only to Waze. Still alive there. Tedesco kicks to the in goal, and Tracy can knock it dead. That was his best and only option for the Bulldogs fullback. And the Roosters have got their ends up here in this first half. Late on, Louis, they lead 14-6.
Yeah, they're going well, the Roosters. They're absolutely dominating field position. They're looking sharper in attack. And the Bulldogs are a little bit shocked at the moment. But nice kick there again by Sam Walker. Good compete there from Mark Nwanganita-Waze. And nice little finish there from Tedesco.
25, make it now 18 seconds left as the seconds tick down here at the SFS. And Burton thumps the line drop out here, back into the path of the Roosters. Egan Butcher in these dying seconds. Long range field goal attempt there from Savala, comes up a few metres short, and it bounces into the in-goal area. Tracy retrieves it. This is the last play of the half, and Tracy is stopped 10 out from his own line by Egan Butcher. So it is then the Roosters 14-6, the halftime scoreline. They did trail 6-0 after Anari Tuala's first try of the game in the 10th minute. Daniel Tupou in the 15th, and a short time ago we saw Nafahu White in the 36th minute with his try, and an earlier Sam Walker penalty goal as well. He's 3 from 3 so far tonight. Roosters 14, Bulldogs 6. Your thoughts so far, Luke Lewis?
I think it's a very good game of footy. It's very high intensity. It's fast. It's end-to-end stuff. I thought the Bulldogs, started pretty well with their kicking game and their kick chase, but the Roosters started to get the better of them in the back end of that half. But very, very even game. I think it's going to come down to a penalty, a drop ball at the wrong end of the field. But at the moment, the Roosters are dominating with the way they're attacking. But the Bulldogs just haven't had too many chances down the other end of the field.
57% possession, the Roosters, and yet it feels like it's still a pretty close game, doesn't
Correct.
it? It's just all about opportunity. So 88% completion, Bulldogs, just the 2 errors in attack, 87% completion rate for the Roosters in that first half. Line breaks 2-0 Bulldogs. Tackle breaks a +6 in the Roosters' favour. Offloads 7-2. Missed tackles, 18-12 Bulldogs, as I mentioned there with that previous stat. Penalties all up of 5 for the Roosters, plus the extra ruck infringement as well. And Billy Smith on report for a hip drop in that first half as well. John Gibbs, your thoughts from down there on the touchline?
Yeah, good effort there by the Roosters. They deserve their lead. As you said, they've had the bulk of possession, but it was the Bulldogs that were dominating early. The Roosters came up with some really good defence at the start. Then there was a couple of mistakes and, some well-placed kicks from Sam Walker, and they really got back into the swing of things. They've done a good job. I've been impressed with Angus Crichton on that left edge. He's done a really good job, and only one player has run for over 100 metres, and that's James Tedesco, who's up towards 150. Another wholesome effort from the skipper Tedesco, but interesting game.
Daniel Tupou scoring his 180th try as well in the NRL, so he is now level with Steve Menzies for 4th most tries all time. And of course, Alex Johnston plays here tomorrow night. He is 3 behind the great Ken Irvine to level him. 1 more to go past him. I mean, it's not inconceivable. It could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week, whatever it is, it's going to happen at some stage, you would think. And that's still to come. Right now, it's Roosters 14, Canterbury 6. Your text welcome 0467 920 222. Grant in Waterloo sending his best wishes for Andrew Moore. Hey team, my mum just asked what's a vegan butcher? Well, probably a vegetarian, but it's vegan butcher. LOL. Thank you. Azza in Cairns sends all the best for Andrew as well. Jeff Verco from the Primary Club. This is a charity that I know our great mate Jim Maxwell is involved with, and I've been to a few of their functions as well. He says, hey Spriggy, you moved house today, Lane Cove to Barrel. The tech supply is really stuffed up. No Wi-Fi, internet, etc. till late next week. So feed up, take away Chinese, listen to ABC Sport, and your dulcet tones go to Roosters. Cheers, Jeff. Good on you, Jeff. Great to hear from you as well. 0467 920 222. Loving the call, boys. These tall wingers are real weapons with goal line bombs, says Phil from Moree. Yeah, we saw that there from Daniel Tupou, as we see from him most games. Griffo from Thirroul says at 64 years old, had a quadruple bypass just over a year ago. Fit and strong now. Tell Andrew in a year he'll feel great. Go to Tigers on Sunday. On you, Griffo. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have had experience with heart attacks and the recovery and all sorts of things there. And Maury's in your thoughts, as he is ours here on ABC Sport. The captain coach of our commentary team here. It's half-time at the Sydney Football Stadium. It's the Roosters 14, Canterbury 6. Earlier in Auckland, the Warriors 14 beat St George Illawarra 10. Right now, time for ABC News.
Sarah Hall with ABC News. States and territories have agreed that if a person is banned from holding a working with children check in one jurisdiction, they soon won't be able to apply for it anywhere else. The ABC's senior political correspondent Brett Worthington has more.
The meeting happened in Sydney where they've all come through to overhaul the ways in which states and the federal government interact around working with children checks, particularly to do with the childcare sector and ways in which staff are able to move across to different state borders depending on whether or not they get a negative finding in one state. So the changes that are going to come in today go some way to make sure that there are ways in which staff who have these checks can be monitored at a federal and then state levels to prevent people exploiting loopholes.
The Education Department has issued warnings to 30 childcare centres, telling them to improve their safety standards or risk having their funding cut. It's the first time the new compliance notices have been used since legislation passed Parliament last month. The centres are now required to inform parents they have not met safety standards such as hygiene and supervision, and then have 6 months to improve measures. National Children's Commissioner Anne Hollins is welcoming the move.
I think we've got to draw a line in the sand. We've got to actually call them out on doing the right thing, and the transparency to parents is absolutely critical.
World War II veterans have gathered in Perth to commemorate Japan's unconditional surrender, which ended the war 80 years ago to the day. More than 60,000 West Australians served in the war, while 40,000 Australians died in the conflict. Frederick Marshall was an Air Force warrant officer during the war, stationed in England, and can remember the day it ended.
Somebody on the parade ground yelled out, "The war's over," and the mess is open. So we went down that little celebration.
Russia's foreign minister has dodged questions on US President Donald Trump's belief that there's a 25% chance today's summit with Vladimir Putin will fail. The American and Russian leaders will hold talks in Alaska focused on Mr. Trump's push to seal a ceasefire deal on Ukraine. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has been asked whether he believes the talks will be successful.
We never make any plans in advance. We know that we have arguments, a clear understandable position, and we will state it. Much has already been done during the visits of the US President's Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. I hope that we will continue this useful conversation.
The latest UN data shows nearly 13,000 Palestinian children in Gaza were hospitalised in July due to severe malnutrition. More from Sarah Amir.
The report from the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs shows that some 2,800 children among them are suffering from severe acute malnutrition. The UN's World Food Programme also says starvation is now at its highest level since Israel's war on Gaza began. Health authorities in Gaza estimate over 230 Palestinians have now starved to death as a result of Israel's blockade, including over 100 children. Israel denies it restricts aid for Gaza and instead accuses Hamas.
Delegates in the Swiss city of Geneva have again failed to agree on talks for the world's first legally binding treaty to tackle plastic pollution. The two drafts of texts were presented to representatives from 184 different countries, but they did not agree to use either one as the basis for their negotiations. The most divisive issues include capping plastic production, managing plastic products and chemicals of concern, and financing. Norway's Climate and Environment Minister Andreas Eriksson says he's disappointed.
We now have to explore our options going forward, but make no mistake, Norway remains steadfast in our commitment to end plastic pollution and to put in place a powerful treaty to this means as soon as possible.
Sydney defender Lewis Melican says there's plenty the Swans can learn from the last two games of the AFL season, despite being out of the finals race. They take on Geelong at the SCG on Sunday afternoon as the Cats fight to hold on to their top two spot. Melican, who plays his 100th game this round, says once the Swans knew they could not play finals, they changed their mindset about what they can get out of their remaining games.
We just really wanted to shift the lens and start focusing on next year and what getting back to playing the footy we know we can play. The ability to play against Brisbane and Geelong this week is a really good opportunity to test ourselves and get ourselves back to where we want to be next year.
This is ABC News.
On the ABC Listen app, stream a wide range of free audiobooks, like from Leanne Moriarty, James Patterson, Tim Winton, and Kate Morton. No catch, just press play. Find free audiobooks on the ABC Listen app.
The summer of cricket has arrived early.
Lobs it straight down the ground for six. He's on the pull shot. Boy, did he get that!
White ball cricket takes centre stage in the top end as Australia take on South Africa.
Down for leg for four. Finger goes up.
And it's on now on the ABC Listen.
Down the pitch. There we go. Bang!
Every ball live. Just click on the cricket button.
The 2025 NRL Premiership.
It's Indigenous round.
Jamin Salmon takes three Roosters with him. He's already shy of that northern line now. Hayward to the right-hand side. Galvin. Delayed pass to his captain. Crichton. Cut-out ball does go to Tarala, who's stepped back on the inside. And Canterbury's in first. So rapturous cheering here at the Sydney Football Stadium. You wouldn't know they were the away team. The last play here for the Roosters beat her out. Uwalu to Walker. He kicks to the corner and Tupou launches, plants it down. There is try 180. Daniel Tupou. He levels Steve Menzies for for fourth all-time, and most importantly tonight, scores the home side first try. It was a short ball there for Nafahu. White dragged down there by Haywood. Last play Roosters. Metre and a half out, left-hand side of the post. Watson here to Crichton. Shoves it back here. Curran there first. Play on here to Nafahu. White, who slides in the score. Oh, that was a mess for the Bulldogs defence. They coughed up the footy, and Nafahu White makes the easiest of tries. Left-hand side of the post and extends the Roosters' lead.
ABC Sport.
Indigenous Round, recognising the contributions of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples to the game of rugby league.
And that lead now at half-time is 14-6 the way of the Roosters over the Bulldogs here at the Sydney Football Stadium. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Luke Lewis and John Gibbs. Earlier in Auckland, the Warriors 14 beat the Dragons 10, Louis, and that's in no small part because, well, the Dragons were decimated by concussions. They had Jack DeBellin, Hamish Stewart, Hame Sele all in the first half. Didn't finish the game. Had to activate their 18th man, Tyrell Sloan, and perhaps unsurprisingly, they lost that lead, which was, I think, at half-time 10-4. Lost 14-10 there. The Warriors snap a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, well, the Warriors needed the win to keep intact with that top four. And the Dragons have been playing pretty good footy, but to go down with 3 players before half-time that were never going to return, that's a big ask. But they hung in there. They didn't get flogged, but it was a good win there by the Warriors in the end. But this is a really good game of footy here tonight. I'm really enjoying the atmosphere, the feeling in it. There's a lot of back and forth, big arm wrestle, and the game very, very quick, and it's pretty high quality too. Not too many drops and not too many stops. Usually one of your games isn't nice and slow. Yeah, mate, last night was crazy. You weren't there, of course. I was with Matt and MC at Western City Stadium. That was a crazy game. That was so fast. All over in 80 minutes and nothing else. It was, the ball was in play the entire time. There was no bunkers. It was nuts. So that's prepared me for this weekend. But anytime you're warming Andrew Moore's seat, there's just extra pressure. So I think I've risen to the occasion okay so far, but don't want to get too proud of myself. No, you're doing a good job, mate. Thank you for your texts that have come through here. Marilyn Harris in Kew, New South Wales. I'm listening in Harvey Bay. I'll be driving back to Caloundra tomorrow after 5 days with 9 friends from Victoria and South Australia. Go the Roosters. Thank you, Marilyn. Stephen Giraween, long-time listener, sporadic texter. I followed Andrew Moore across the dial since before he began working at the ABC and was shocked and saddened last night to hear he suffered a serious heart attack. My thoughts and prayers are with he and his family. Wish him a speedy recovery and can't wait to hear him on the air again. Here, Steve. Nice to hear from you as well. Thank you, Clancy, for your text. Scuba Steve is listening from my bulldozer in the mines near Muswellbrook. Doggy. Thank you, Scuba Steve, as the doggies make their way back out onto the Sydney Football Stadium. Johnny Maruba sends his best wishes to Maury for a speedy recovery as well, and as have plenty of you. It's hard to get to them all, but I'll make sure that we forward them all on to Maury. As far as while listening to the Illawarra, says this game looking like a cracker. Go doggies, loving the call. Looking forward to Andrew's return after his HIA in brackets heart injury assessment. Good on you all, and nice to hear from all of you as well. Around the grounds quickly, AFL third quarter. St Kilda 49, Essendon 48. Quarter time in Perth. Brisbane 20 leads Fremantle 5. Roosters make their way back out. John Gibbs, where's the game go from here?
Well, it's going to be very important starting the game for the Bulldogs because they can't afford to get further behind, and the further the game went, the more confident the Roosters became. And I'm going to say they were a little bit tired at the start of the game, but once they got some ball, and they got plenty of it towards the end of the half, they came alive. So the Bulldogs have to respond. I'd like to see more spreading of the ball from the Bulldogs, more running.
Okay, thanks, Gibbsy. Of course, bear in mind, Louis, when these sides last met round 11 at Stadium Australia, it was a 14-0 half-time score on the Roosters' way, similar to tonight's one. Bulldogs won that 24-20. So,
and they come back and win or what?
Will I declare it right now? Yes, I'll say yes.
Like it.
But again, basing it on that much, just vibes. Roosters to kick off in this second half. Bulldogs to receive. The smoke still clearing from our half-time show with Baker Boy and all the various pyro as the players ran back out there. Tedesco kicks off. Dogs to have first use. Music still blaring here at the SFS, which Dennis Carnahan loves, by the way. And it's always cranked up to about 1,000 decibels. Driven back here, right out from their own line here, the Bulldogs getting up to play it now is Harry Hay. Hayes. And they swing it right-hand side of the park. Preston is nailed down there by Celesi Fiketti. And Haywood from dummy half. Across now to Josh Curran. Josh Curran has Durrogue ancestry, by the way. 4 times Indigenous All-Star. Play at 20 out. Centre field, left-hand side. Man to Burton. Almost left behind there by kick out. Up that left edge. He's slowed up by White and also Savala. Haywood, second last play here. On to Kurt Mann. Bit of a dashing run from him. 30 out, 20 in eastern touchline. Haywood goes blindside left. And Burton, you hear the kick of the ball there off his boot. Down to Tuazo, who plants the foot, drops the footy backwards. So he had the foot there on the sideline, but that's enough.
That's a smart play.
Yeah.
He knows the rules. You only need to have his foot on the line or over the touchline. He doesn't have to catch it on a foot, he just has to touch it.
He looked despondent there as the ball sort of went away, but yes, he did just have it. It touched him and he had it on the line. So
when he touches it,
does his foot come up?
His foot's still.
I think that's why he was unconvinced, and so was I. But anyway, Roosters possession here, attacking that northern line of the Sydney Football Stadium, as it is now Rob Toyer. Plays it now to Watson, open side left, Walker, and now a barnstorming run from Egan Butcher. Not to be confused with the vegan Butcher, who someone texted about earlier. 25 out, Watson, back to the right-hand side, Walker. Play 3 here for the Roosters, 14-6 their lead. They shape to the right-hand side as it's with Tuazo. He takes on Sherry, and he's dragged down, 12 out, 5 in from the eastern side. Dummy half, Toyer. The left-hand side of the park, Walker. Now the inside ball, Nafahu White. Just drive the leg there on the tackler and Harry Hayes. Play at 12 out. Watson to the left for Walker. Tedesco, and now Smith with a run to the corner. Wrapped up by Stephen Crichton. Footy came loose. Bulldogs force the error and they'll get possession back. They are just, the amount of noise those fans are generating is fantastic. And as I say, either they outnumber or they're just louder than the Roosters fans here at the football stadium. Roosters 14, Dogs 6, 2.5 gone second half. ABC Sport, John Gibbs.
Well, they shifted the ball really well there, the Roosters. They were causing the Bulldogs problems. They went across to Billy Smith, and he was hammered in a comical tackle by the skipper, Stephen Crichton, and dispossessed him of the ball. That's how you tackle, Crichton says to his teammates.
I'll tell you what, Stephen Crichton is a great one-on-one defender, but if he had played short there, Angus Crichton outside shoulder with about a metre on Lockie Galvin, that's try time.
3 minutes gone in this second half on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. And now a run from Josh Curran. In the special Indigenous design headgear, which he always wears. Harry Hayes up the 20-metre line. Played now Haywood, who kicks from dummy half. It just wobbles down towards the western touchline, but takes a little bounce back in field now where it's gathered by James Tedesco. Stephen Crichton runs him down again. He got in there first and left the afters there for Anari Tawala. Tedesco plays it, 18 out from his own line, southern end. Now swung back to Daniel Tupou. One of their 2 first half try scorers along with Nafahu White. No change to our scoreline at the break. 14-6 the Roosters. 4 gone second half. Up the left-hand side again, Billy Smith, who was placed on report in the opening 40. Angus Crichton receives it centre field. Takes on Jacob Preston, middle of the park, 40 out. This will be second last play Roosters. They run the footy here through Fiketti. Played here to Watson just shy of halfway. Now Savala off a couple of steps. High kick in the air. Tracy drops it. Drops the high footy. And so this will give possession here to the Roosters. 20 out from that northern end to extend their 14-6 lead. 4.5 gone here. The Roosters scrum, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, that was a bit of a sitter there for Connor Tracy, really. He would just go straight through the arms. And I'll tell you what, the bounce favours the Roosters nicely. And I'm watching Victor Radley's body language at the moment. He's filthy on himself that he didn't pick that up. He had 3 supporters on his left, 2 on his right, and only had 1 Bulldog back there in place. So that was a bit of an opportunity gone begging there for the Roosters.
So Roosters scrum, 15 out in fact from that northern end.
Get down.
Grant Atkins just giving the guys a scrum lesson.
You wait. Connor, get in.
Get him. Come on, mate.
Break.
Fed from the right-hand side. Watson does go left-hand side. Walker, Tedesco, left edge. Daniel Tedesco goes himself. Feeds it back to Tupou. He takes on Haywood and 3 more doggies. He's held up a few metres shy, deep in that northwestern corner of the SFS. They'll play it there, Roosters. Tackle 2. Smith, open side right. Walker. Onto the Fahu White, straightening right here toward the post. Curran gets in, 11 out centre field. Watson on play 3 from dummy half. The right-hand side to Butcher, now Savala. Delayed pass now Toya. Burton wraps him up. 9 metres out, right-hand side of the uprights. Lonnie Tawaze, dummy half. On here to Savala. Now the inside to Wigan Butcher. He's met there by Hayes and Haywood. And we'll play it now to Watson. Walker, White, all the W's, and the big W there from the Fahu White. He scored the try. He's second to the game. He was crawling there. Our Dogs defenders all over him. But the Fahu White makes it back-to-back tries either side of half-time to extend the Roosters' lead. 18-6 kick to come, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, smart play by the Roosters. When they played short, they look up and see who's in front. And you get it, Fahu White is a big human being, just running a nice, hard, straight line. And he gets in front of Lockie Galvin. You've got to play to him. Lockie had to wait for his teammate to come over, and they just couldn't stop him. Really nice play by the Roosters. And Fahu White, he can't believe his luck. He gets another one tonight. It's a double. He hasn't scored too many. We did have a stat there from Gibbsy earlier. I'm sure we'll hear it now.
Gibbsy, down to you.
Well, that's his first double, and that was a barnstorming run. He got over the top of Josh Curran, and he gets the ball down. And well done there, but that's on the back of Connor Tracy. And as you said, Louis, that was a sitter. There's no breeze here, and the reason why Victor Radley didn't take the ball is because he just thought he'd be making a tackle. But the Fahu White, that was a really, really good effort to get to the line.
He's having a great year, isn't he, Louis, the Fahu White, for the Sydney Roosters. Here's Sam Walker, 15 out, 22 in from the western side. And he's so far, well, I've put this in the book, so I've sort of might have mozzed him here. He was 3 from 3 before half-time. I dare say this should not trouble him.
Oh, you're trying to do a Gibbsy. Put a marker on the kickers.
By the way, he has passed 250 NRL goals in this game. I mentioned he's kicked 10 out of 11 last week, and with his penalty goal earlier, 250. It's now 252 NRL goals, and the Roosters lead 20 points to 6. 8 gone second half. Off the SMS 0467 920 222. Brian from Umina says 1,000 decibels is not only physically impossible, but would cause catastrophic damage if possible. Well, the way Dennis Carnahan complains about it, you'd think there was 1,000 decibels, and it is catastrophic based on Dennis's own experience trying to mix the sound here at the SFS, because the PA is very, very loud. Anyway, around the grounds, by the way, AFL third quarter. St Kilda 61 leads Essendon 55. Second quarter in Perth, Brisbane 20 leads Fremantle 8. Earlier AFLW, the Sydney Swans beat Richmond at North Sydney Oval by 20 points, 58-38. Back underway here at the football stadium. Roosters 20 points to 6. I think my prediction might be a bit shaky here, Louis, as far as a possible Bulldogs comeback, but still plenty of footy left yet. Tupou tackle 20. 20 in from the western side. Watson. Off now Angus Crichton, centre field run, swarmed on by 4 Bulldogs, and now he'll play it. You get a Connor Watson, looks right, goes left to his captain Tedesco. Fend there on Harry Hayes, too quick for Curran, stopped by Curran and Preston. Tedesco plays at 37 out from his own line. Now to Fahu White, two-time try scorer in this game so far, just short of the halfway. Open side right, last play the kick from Savala, hangs in the air down there for Carraz, and Carraz stopped by Toya and Lonnie Tawaze, 25 out and 10 in from the eastern side. 20 points to 6 is the Sydney Roosters lead here on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis, John Gibbs, Friday night footy here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Dummy half here for the Bulldogs as Galvin swings it wide. And tackle ball and all down there is Tawala. Now Hayward sets up left-hand side of the park this time. Angle run from Jacob Carraz, pushed back to the wing in response to the returning Connor Tracy. And here is Tracy, the fullback. Zippy run here away from Watson, stopped by White and also Egan Butcher, 8 short of halfway. This will be last play Bulldogs and trail 20 points to 6. Last play kick from Burton. Hangs in the air there for Lonnie Tawaze. 10 out from his own line here. Roosters go back on the attack. He's met by Kickow and also Curran, and will play it 15 out from his own line, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, the Roosters are really dominating this game at the moment, making easy metres, their defence. I'm really impressed with their line speed and their defence. Limited the metres of the Bulldogs. They're doing such a good job. And I tell you what, if the Bulldogs aren't careful, this could blow out. Here's a penalty now to the Roosters coming out of their own end.
So the touchline, John Gibbs.
They're under enormous pressure, and they're doing plenty of talking. Bailey Hayward again is doing lots of the talking to his teammates. Stephen Crichton's got to get in there. He led by defence previously, but the Roosters are all over them, and they don't seem to have the answers right at this stage.
Penalty count 6-4 Roosters. Thank you, Gibbsy. So, the Roosters, who have had far more with the ball across this game, still 57, it was 57 at half time, or has it grown to be even more in this game? 57% still, possession the Roosters. Brent Atkins resets the play here as
Sam's fault, he's pushed it over here.
he's just talking about the Roosters setting up in the play of the ball. Watson swings it right hand side, and Fiketti over halfway now into Hayward. Plays it now for Watson. Butcher, the right hand side. Savala with a half break, but kick out, gets him around the waist. Stop him, 35 out, 20 in from the eastern side. 11 going second half here on ABC Sport. Roosters 20, Bulldogs 6. Left hand side shift now again. Angus Crichton offloads back to Sam Walker. That means the pass outside. Wrapped up now by Stephen Crichton. 30 out, 20 in western side. It'll be play 4. Big shove there on one of the markers, Stephen Crichton, in response to some earlier shove as well. So Brent Atkins is
saying, surrendering the tackle, mate. He's got every right to do it. Stay there. Tackle 4. Wait until I say so.
So he just warning Sam Walker there. He gave that big shove. Player 28 metres out from that northern line.
There's a new rule. A little halfback, you can push whoever you want.
Roosters on the attack. Savala was mixed up. He's got the pass with Tedesco, and Tedesco takes on Connor Tracy. 20 out, 20 in, eastern touchline. Last play, Roosters. Blindside right. Watson, deft kick from Savala was too deft. And Bronson Sherry slides in to retrieve it here, steeped in that northeastern corner of the Sydney Football Stadium. Roosters 20, Bulldogs 6, 12 going second half here on ABC Sport. The decibels, whether it's, 20, 50, 1,000, has lifted here again as Bulldogs go back on the attack. Burton, a little step there on Selesi Fiketti. Of course, he had an amazing 40-20 last week, Matt Burton. Now it's going to be a penalty going the Bulldogs' way for, again, some lazy ruck play from Selesi Fiketti. So it is the Roosters 20, Bulldogs 6. Possession now 60% the Roosters, as evidenced on the scoreboard. Bulldogs will go back on the attack, though. John Gibbs on the touchline.
Yeah, they're going to keep their head, the Roosters, because they're controlling the game really well, but you can't give them easy field position. Even when Sam Walker was pushing Stephen Crichton, he shouldn't be doing it. He's got the ball, so just get up and play it. Don't risk anything. They're in control.
It seemed to be the warning that came from the referee as well.
And Reid Marty's on the field now. That might lift him a little bit too. That little bit of a Bulldog through the middle of the field.
He's a dummy half here, Reid Marty. Comes open side right. Hayward receives it onto Curran. And he's pressing over halfway here into Connor Watson, the far who wide. 5 inside Roosters territory. This will be play 2 here for the Sydney Roosters. Low ball from Marnie onto Burton. And now Jacob Preston is just slammed to the turf by Smith and Walker. Play at 40 out. Marnie, open side left. Burton, Hayward. Now back on the inside again as 3 Roosters make the tackle there on Harry Hayes. Played 35 out now for the Bulldogs. Galvin back on the inside to his skipper, Stephen Crichton. This is second last play. Now the last for the Bulldogs, 25 out. Crichton off to dummy half Marnie. Now the kick from Galvin. High in the air it goes. And Tupou plants 1 foot in the in-goal area. Takes the catch. Back to the 20 here for a 7-tackle set for Roosters. And they keep that 20 points to 6 lead. There's a big play from that restart, that tap from Tupou. And he's 40 out from his own line. So the Roosters recovered things again. They control the scoreboard here and possession. And they're back on the attack. Normally Tawaze will play it on the halfway line. There for his captain, Tedesco at dummy half. Off to Selesi Fiketti. He crawls here in a 2-man tackle, and now will play it. Comes open side left. Walker. Dummies the inside ball. Now releases to Angus Crichton. Collected by Kikau and also Galvin. 30 out, 20 in from the western side. Play 3 Roosters. Watson to Walker. On the right-hand side, Savala to Tedesco. Cut out ball into Waze. He's fast. He takes on Carraz, and Hayward comes in. He was stopped there initially by Burton as well. 20 out. Play 4 Roosters. 20 points to 6 is the home side leader at the Sydney Football Stadium. Open side left here again. To Fiketti. And he'll be playing it. In fact, it's Blake Steeper who's out there. 18 out from that northern line. Last play, kick from Walker, crossfield bomb. It's very high. Tupou launches up there and takes on Koala. Steamrolls two Bulldogs defenders and scores his second try of the night. Some Daniel Tupou magic. He now stands alone as the fourth greatest try scorer in rugby league history. Second try tonight. His 181st in his career, and it's 24-6. The Roosters kick to come, 15 going, second half, Luke Lewis.
Oh, what a target to have in your side there, Daniel Tupou. You get him a one-on-one, and to get the kick right, you landed exactly where he just landed again there. And that was beautiful work there by Sam Walker, but an outstanding leap and take there by Daniel Tupou. And then a strength just to shrug off, four Bulldogs players there to slam the ball down. And this is going to get ugly. 24 points to 6, kick to come with 25 minutes left on the clock. It is crazy performance here from the Roosters.
Now the touchline, John Gibbs.
And in the second half, they've been coming up with some great offloads. They've just been shifting the ball one side to the other. Nawani Waze and also Daniel Tupou have had plenty of work. But Sam Walker, that kicking, I know it's a good target, Louis, but gee whiz, you've got to put it onto the target, and his kicking is precision. His try assists in the last month or so have been off the scale. They have been enormous. He is doing a great job, and here he is trying to kick another goal. He's only missed one all year. That was that one, he got 10 out of 11 last week. He's just a freak, this kid. He's got every dimension.
I tell you what, haven't they? The Roosters' attack has gone through the roof ever since he's come back too.
He's 6 game back, and here he is. He's 23 metres out now, 8 metres in from the western side. 4 from 4 so far tonight, Sam Walker. 16 minutes gone, 24 left in the game. To your text shortly as well, 0467920222. But this to be 26-6. I think the Roosters, as far as their best wins this year, if they do see it through from here, which they should do, it's hard to topple. Walker, right foot kick. And again, over the black dot it goes. He's 5 from 5. The Sydney Roosters 26. Bulldogs 6.
I reckon he's coming up as probably one of the best kickers in the game, Sam Walker, when it comes to goal kick.
That's for the SMS, 0467920222. Big Daddy and Coxsarva, loving the call. Roosters might have a good win tonight or another extra time game. Yeah, I think it looks less likely now, Big Daddy. The NRL without Morey, I don't think it's possible. Our thoughts and prayers are with him, hoping for a quick recovery, says Neil. Chris the Nightwatch says, was doing a great job filling in for Andrew Moore, but let's face it, there's only one Andrew Moore. Get well soon, Morey. We're all thinking of you and sending best wishes. And Marek from Maruka as well. Jaden Russ camping out at Farina on our way to Lake Air, listening to the game around the fire, sending best wishes for a speedy recovery to Andrew Moore, and hope to hear him back on the call before too long. Thank you, Jaden Russ, for your text as well. Roosters back on the attack. 26 points to 6 is their game high lead, and they control things here now with a weighted 59% possession across these first 57 minutes of the game. Played there centre field by Egan Butcher. Off to the left-hand side now, Angus Crichton. And he gains a quick 8 metres now on Jacob Preston. 30 out, 20 in from the western side. Dummy half Watson. Feeds it back here on the inside to Blake Steep. Tackled now by Curran. Plays it to Watson. This will be last play Roosters. Sabala puts that ball high in the air. Down towards the opposing 30-metre line where it's taken by Jacob Carraz. He's brought down on that line there by Steep and also for Keddy. Carraz will play it now for Lockie Galvin. On the right-hand side, Tuala. He scored the first try of the game, but since then the Roosters haven't looked back. 18 gone, 22 left in this second half on ABC Sport. Galvin dummy half on play 3 finds his captain, Stephen Crichton, falls over there in the tackle of Connor Watson. 5 short of halfway. Marnie dummy half off to Haywood, and now again inside ball from Burton to kick out. His 50th appearance in the Bulldogs tonight. Xiaomi kick out. Haywood to Burton. Offloads. Oh, we can trade off the Roosters, I reckon, here. It's going to be, back here for a Bulldogs scrum somewhere near halfway here at the Sydney Football Stadium, but it's the Roosters who lead 26 points to 6 over the Bulldogs with John Gibbs on the touchline.
Well, I don't think they can believe what's happening here, the Bulldogs. That one was knocked down. They get another opportunity here, but their attack looks a little bit impotent. They're just sort of all standing around. I think they're in a state of shock.
And Gibbs, back to you shortly as they come right-hand side of the scrum. 45 out from that southern line. Bulldogs on the attack, but can they get their act together here, the Bulldogs? 40 out now. Marnie, open side left. Galvin, on to Burton. It was flat to kick out, and into the back of him goes Toya. 30 out. This is play 3 now for the Bulldogs. Back through hands to Curran, now Haywood, dummy. We saw the gap there on the inside of Egan Butcher, but he's claimed there 25 outs in the field. Tackle 4 to the left-hand side. Burton to Stephen Crichton, and now Corral's almost lost the footy. Did slow him down a little bit, pushes out the pass back to Stephen Crichton. Curran up against Watson, and Connor Watson collars him. 20 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Last play, Bulldogs will trail by a total of 20 points. Kick from Galvin, goes high across field. They're lurking, but Tupou does a defensive leap. Gets up there, driven back by Jacob Preston, and that will be a line dropout here coming from the Roosters, who lead 26-6 over Canterbury-Bankstown. And we've played now 20 minutes in this second half, 20 left in the game of footy overall. Earlier in Auckland, the Warriors 14 beat the Dragons 10.
So there's one thing I probably wouldn't be doing if I was a kicker, and I wouldn't be kicking to Daniel Tupou. If I'm going that way to kick, I'll be putting it along the ground, so that big tall body has to get down low to pick the ball up. And I'll be going to maybe a little bit shorter, try and land it on Sen and Smith's head or something like that to get a couple of chases through. But it's a bizarre kicking game from the Bulldogs at the moment.
Long line dropout brought back here by Harry Hayes of the Bulldogs, and claimed 40 out centre field. Off to the left-hand side of the ground. 35 out now, the Dogs on the attack. Kick out. Plays it there for Marnie. Open side right now to Haywood, and now Preston. He makes light work of Smith, but Angus Crichton up top, as well as Sam Walker doing the defensive work. 30 out now, Bulldogs attacking the Roosters line. Galvin on here to Viliami. Kick out, a little pretty forward, nothing doing. 15 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Second last play, Doggies. Marnie, a kick now from Burton. Put it by Dominic Talaze. Roosters go back on the attack. Feeds it back to Tedesco. He accelerates, but not before. Well, he did accelerate, and he was stopped there by Matt Burton pretty quickly. 10 out from that southern line. On the attack again, the Roosters here on play 2 with a run from Toya. 26 points to 6 is the home side lead here at the Sydney Football Stadium. 19 left in the game. You're with Brett Sprigler, Lewis, John Gibbs. That'll be penalty for a high shot going the way of the Sydney Roosters.
Yeah, what about the skill there from Mark Nawangani-Tawaze again? Just gets down low, gets the ball on one little bounce, gets up a little bit of footwork, keeps the ball alive, finds Tedesco, and then the 2 plays later comes up a nice carry over his own end. A little bit of footwork again going into the defence, and then just gets a bit wrong-footed there, Curran, and just taps him around the head. I don't think it'll be anything to worry about, but another penalty here for the Roosters to get out of their own end nice and easy.
Roosters fine touch on the eastern side. John Gibbs on that touch line.
Well, there's a couple of players in this team that are really inexperienced, and they're going so well. Hugo Savala, this is only his 17th game in first grade. He's playing, way above that in terms of experience. His development this year has been outstanding, along with some of his teammates.
Get to your text shortly. Centre field run here from the Roosters. Megan Butcher played the Watson 35 out. Spins it left-hand side. It's going to be 6 more hits off the 10 here. So a full set now for the Roosters. 35 out from the Bulldogs line. A chance for more points here, Louis. They've scored 26 straight in the game, of course. Tual with the first try of the game in the 10th minute. And so been all the Roosters since then. Here's Blake Steep. 25 out now. Right-hand side of the uprights. Swung back. Watson to Walker. Low for Tedesco. Angus Crichton ran into Lockie Galvin. So
Simon there.
So Tedesco surrenders 20 out. Watson took it across here for Walker. Inside ball now again to Egan Butcher. And he'll play it. 17 outs in the field. Watson to Walker. Second last play. Oh, it's picked off here by Burton. He's in open space. Walker is chasing him. So to Tawaze. Over the 40, the 30. He's still chasing. Burton still going. Will go in to score. Intercept from Matt Burton, runs 80 metres, and the Dogs on the counter-attack do score their first try of the second half, and a much needed one to boot. 26-10, kick to come Bulldogs, 17 left in the second half. Luke Lewis on ABC Sport.
Yeah, with Matty Burton, he gets the intercept, a nice run away. Tell you what, shows some toe here too. He's got a couple of quick plays.
How did he get it?
Chasing him, but they go close to the line. Savala looks like he's going to play short there to Victor Radley, and a really nice read there from Matty Burton. Hits him straight on the chest, and then he just had to run the length. But I tell you what, showed some toe.
On the touchline, John Gibbs.
The commentators curse in. I just gave Hugo Savala a rap, and he threw it into the lap of Matt Burton. He went from the standing start too, because he had to get the ball under control, and he was racing down that eastern touchline. He had a couple of pursuers with Billy Smith, Mark Nollan and Iwaze. They really didn't make any ground. And last night we saw a game change on an intercept from Xavier Coates after Blaze Delaney threw a ball. They're a bit far behind, you would think, but that gives them some hope.
Stephen Crichton, 20 out, 11 in from the eastern side. 1 from 1 so far tonight. It does give the Bulldogs some hope here. Can it be 26-12? Left foot kicker, Stephen Crichton. In he comes. This just wedges over the black dot for a extra 2. So 26-12 is the Roosters lead here over the Bulldogs. Right up through ABC Sport with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs. 0467 920 222. All the best and a quick recovery, says Pete from Hawks Nest. Go to Chooks. Roosters are storming to the 8th and cause carnage. Peaking at the right time, says Rooster Muzz. Missy on the Mount sends her prayers and best wishes for Andrew Moore in hospital from his special fan, Missy. Good on you, Missy. Andrew the Truckie, loving the call team. Express freight to Brizzy right now. All the best, Moy, for a fast recovery. Tony from Tenterfield, thank you for your nice text. Clancy as well. And Anthony Lismore. Big noise at the stadium. What's the crowd there? Don't get a crowd figure just yet. Anthony, I'll give it to you there when we get it. And Paul from Brisbane, thank you for your text as well. Back on the attack here go the Bulldogs, having scored the most recent try of the game through Matt Burton. 26-12, 15:40 left in the game. They must make the most of every single set, you would think. And Max King back in the action. Slammed to the turf by Collins and also Butcher. Dummy half Marnie. Dogs on the attack. Haywood to Galvin. They shape to the left-hand side now. Burton to Sherry. Half break, but Toya slowed him down. Savala got him up top as well. Metre short of halfway. This is second last play, Bulldogs. Run back to the line there by Galvin, and now offloads to King. He feeds the offload back to Haywood. Left-hand side now to Viliami Kikau, who stands in the Radley tackle and will play it 2.5 shy of halfway. 20 in from the eastern side. Blind side left they go. Last play, Canterbury-Bankstown. Kick from Burton. Hangs in the air down there for James Tedesco. Takes it 8 metres out from his own line and now brings it back into that swarm of Bulldogs defence. In there first was Sam Hughes and also Haywood. 18 out from that southern line centre field. Daniel Tupou, 2 tries tonight. He himself is 19 short of the 200, so it's maybe coming for him at some stage. Not this year though. Up the middle of the park they go, and that's a run from Spencer Leniu. Plays it now 30 out. Tedesco dummy half. Gives them 10 more. This will be second last play, Roosters. 26-12 is their leader at the Sydney Football Stadium. And now a big run from Lindsay Collins. And he's hammered back there by Matt Burton and Viliami Kikau. Last play. Kick from Savala, who threw the intercept a short time ago. Taken 20 out the Bulldogs line here by their fullback Connor Tracy, and he explodes away, but Bradley comes across with Toya and stops him 30 out from his own line.
Now, the Bulldogs have got to keep playing some footy. I really like what they did there last time. They come over that right edge, they shifted over to Bronson Sherry. They've got to keep moving that ball and try and keep the ball alive.
13:50 left in the game here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Dogs on the attack here, play 3, and cut down 36 out from his own line is Bronson Sherry. Played now to Marnie. Swings it across the right-hand side, Haywood. Escaped the Collins tackle. Takes on Connor Watson. And he'll play it 8 short of halfway here, Haywood. To Marnie, to the blind side. Burton, shaped to kick, but runs the footy instead there to Victor Radley on his second last play. Now the last for the Bulldogs. Just inside Roosters territory. Galvin, the bright pink boots, just thumps it high into the sky here. Horny Tawaze parks himself under it. Forced back to out from his own line, right kick out, and now takes on Carraz. He'll play it there. So the Roosters, no, he's lost the footy. Roosters error. Okay, Bulldogs will be deep in attack here with a scrum feed, but there'll be a challenge. Hold your horses.
Okay, Adam. We're coming in to tackle one for a knock-on from Mark. Roosters are challenging. He was tackled high after the kick reception leading into that.
They're looking at Xiaomi, the way he comes down flying. He gets a bit wrong-footed and he puts his arm up.
Yeah, that's what I signed up for, mate.
But Tedesco's too smart. He challenges it just because he knows there's something could be there. It might not be in the drop, but it could be here. So got to look at everything. Gets wrong-footed. No, that's fine.
There's no high contact here from Viliami. It's across the shoulder, playing on at this point.
Shoulder.
This contact here is also okay and over the shoulder with a grab.
And then drop ball. Yep, comes loose. It wasn't great. There's nothing really in there from Sherry. There's no hands on the ball or anything unless they're determining on a different angle. Oh, hang on.
Bronson Cherry just comes in to make a tackle now. It's a loose carry.
There we go.
And that's just Tedesco just having a shot to see if he can get something, I reckon.
So 13 left in the second half. Roosters 26, Bulldogs 12. John Gibbs on the touchline.
Yeah, that was on the advice of Sam Walker, who obviously didn't see it that well, but sometimes in the run of play, those penalties are given, but I'm happy with the way that played out. That crowd tonight is a beauty. 31,399.
Wow, thank you, Gibbsy. Most of them making noise for Canterbury, it seems. But they trail 26-12 at the hands of the Roosters.
They score here, it makes it interesting.
Oh, absolutely it does. So, scrum feed, 10 out from that southern line. Bulldogs deep in attack. Marnie swings it around here towards Bronson Sherry. He tries to burn Toya. Takes on Savara and also Radley. He'll play it now. 8 out deep in that southeastern corner of the Sydney Football Stadium. Carraz, open side right, Galvin. Into Haywood, and now stepping into the line, Sam Hughes. And he's dragged down 11 out centre field now for the Bulldogs. This is play 3 coming up. Marnie across to Galvin. Inside ball, Josh Curran. Takes on the tackle of Angus Crichton and Lindsay Collins. Origin quality defence there from those two. Played now again, Marnie. On to Galvin. In close to Max King. Straight his run toward the post, and he's stopped now. 7 metres shy of that Roosters line. Dogs here on play 4. Marnie across here to Galvin, backs his way into that defensive wall. He'll play it now away from Leniu. 5 out from that Roosters line. Last play, Dogs in fact. Haywood, the low ball here to Burton. On there is on the bounce now to Carraz. Opposite kick does the winger. Picked up by Savala, and is he grounded in the in-goal area? Line drop out. We thought he found a salvation maybe of the, or back in the field of play, all the eastern touchline. Either way it'll be possession, you would think, coming Canterbury's way, unless they go to short drop out, of course they probably will. They lead the game here, the Roosters 26-12, 11:40 left in the game, Luke Lewis.
Well, that's another really good defensive set there by the Roosters. On their line, they keep turning up. They've had their backs against the wall for the last couple of sets, and they keep the Bulldogs out. They've got to do it again here, the Roosters.
And they go a very flat drop out. It bounced off the shins of Stephen Crichton. Back into Spencer Leniu. Roosters recover the football. So it wasn't a short drop out, but it was kind of an effective one in some ways. Walker, a dummy half, off to Smith, gets one very high, and that will be a Roosters penalty. They'll come in from all angles now when there's a bit of jersey grabbing and...
there wasn't much in that. That was
Stephen Crichton who came in. Who was the one who got him?
Stephen Crichton comes to mark and does a really good hard shot around the legs, which sort of buckles the ball runner. I can't see who was actually carrying the ball. And then the two Bulldogs players come over the top, and it's because he gets buckled from the inside. So
it's Sam Hughes it is. So it comes back here to Crichton's shins.
Sam Hughes on report.
So Leniu had the ball. Crichton comes in, and Sam Hughes on report. And his next one here on Smith. There we go. That was the next play. So Samuel Hughes on report there on Millie Smith. And they're one all Gibbsy, because Smith was poor earlier for a distance with Sam Hughes, and now it's vice versa.
Yeah, and but it's more important. So he goes down, he's hit low, and as he was falling, he's hit over the top of Sam Hughes. So there were mitigating circumstances. That was a beautiful line drop out though from Hugo Savala, because he drilled the ball and it ricocheted off Stephen Crichton. Special in, you came through and got the ball. So their defence has been excellent, and that was really well done. Now there's a knock-on.
Yeah, knock-on here, Roosters. So, again, the Bulldogs and Stephen Crichton forced the error. 8-5 the penalty count, by the way. Crowd here is one shy of 32,000. Great crowd here at the Sydney Football Stadium. 10.5 left, Luke Lewis. Roosters 26, Canterbury 12.
Well, the Roosters just starting to make a few errors, especially coming out of their own end. That was a beautiful shot there from Stephen Crichton. Gets down low, hits his shoulder underneath the ball, pops it out. They need to turn this field position now, the Bulldogs, into some points. If they can get a try here, they've still got a chance with the time on the clock.
So, 40 out from that southern line. 26-12 seems, for the moment, unassailable. Bulldogs have had momentum here as Tracy run down by Sawyer. Bulldogs on play too. 8 in from the eastern side. Carraz receives the ball, darts back in on Sawyer. Stopped there by Victor Radley, 35 out from that southern line. 9:50 left in the game here on ABC Sport. Straightening run there from Max King, and Collins meets him, 35 out centre field. Marnie off the deck he goes, scoops up one-handed, now shares the pass off to Sam Hughes, and collected by Angus Crichton. And he will be playing it, 22 out, right-hand side of the upright. So both Sam Hughes and Millie Smith on report in this game so far. Galvin, the left-hand side to Burton, and now Bronson Sherry, good pace, so too Carraz takes a longer because the footy's come loose. So the Roosters defence this time does force the error. That was Mark Omni to Arte. And it will then be a Roosters possession, 10 out from their own line at southern end, but they will challenge this, no surprises.
Okay, the previous tackle was 4, and then he goes out into touch. If he stays alive, we're still playing on the previous from 4.
Okay, so challenging the decision of whether he was out.
How good is the Roosters' goal on defence now? Absolutely amazing. They're scrambling from everywhere.
Does Carraz somehow keep it alive? Here he had
Jacob Carraz's left hand touches the touchline prior to him releasing the ball. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Which was really straightforward there. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, well, that one was a real throw at the stuffs because they realised with only a few minutes to go, 9 minutes exactly, basically, and 6 seconds, 14 points behind, they need to get the ball back. Their defence, and there's a Roosters chant going up, and that crowd just clarifying, 31-399, and now they're losing. They're discombobulating them.
They are, absolutely. So there's a bit of tussle in back play there with Marnie and Angus Crichton. We didn't see what lit the fuse initially. That was...
Go away! Go away!
You hear the ref having a chat there to the players.
Yeah, swinging hard. He'll probably go 10 here. That was Curran. He just gets wrong-footed. And then Billy Smith comes and pushes Curran in the back. Pretty dangerous there as well because he's not expecting it. But I reckon he'll get 10 here.
So Grant Atkins separates the players. No one's been called out quite as yet. They're looking at replays.
Max King won the second part of it, gets him high, right? He's on report. I'm going to speak to you.
Max King on report.
Billy
Smith being called out now.
James. Every time I penalise that live, okay? The game is under the control there. You running in, I just spoke to Sam about it. You guys, next one, if you run in again and flare it up, you'll go. And that's what the game's about, and that's why I penalise you.
No bin for the time being.
You've got to control them, they're your men.
Gibbsy, but James Tedesco's having a chat to the referee, and that's where things will sit for now.
Yeah, Max King came across with a head-high tackle, and it wasn't particularly malicious, but they're just losing it. They're disciplined. They need the ball. There's 7 minutes to go. They're 14 points behind. But this defence of the Roosters has thwarted them on every occasion.
7:20 left in the game here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Sydney Roosters on the attack, played by Angus Crichton, 48 from his own line. Now Spencer Leniu in a 4-man tackle, metre short of halfway. Play to Watson. On play 2, Tedesco, dummies, and he's just making a post-contact game there with Hughes surrounding him and also Haywood. Play it now, 40 out the Bulldogs line. Watson off to Blake Steep. He backs his way into kick-hour and stop now. 32 out from that northern end of the SFS. 26-12, second last play, Roosters. Walker onto Tedesco, and now Angus Crichton again. Up that left, he's been busy in the game, and now he's taken by his namesake, Stephen Crichton. 20 out, 20 in from the western side. Watson, blind side left now. Last play kick from Walker. Up it goes. Tupou searching through. So too Billy Smith. It's been lost. Knocked on by the Roosters. Billy Smith was the error maker. And it will be a changeover. Bulldogs 10 out from their own line. Will end in that northwestern corner of the ground, Louis. We've got 6 minutes and 10 seconds left. Roosters 26, Bulldogs 12.
Yeah, all I can say is I've been very impressed with the Roosters tonight. I thought right from the kick-off, took them maybe 5 minutes to get into the game, but from there, they've attacked with their defence. They've been really, really good. Attention to detail. The Sam Walker's been brilliant on this left edge. He's kicking game, finding Denver Tupou, and their defence on their goal line has been outstanding. So a really good, hard-fought battle out here by the Roosters.
The Bulldogs did fight back midway through that second half, but it's been very impressive from the Roosters to withstand a possible scoring surge here. Just the one try in this second half for the Bulldogs. Soft-loaded back here from kick-out to Reid Marnie, and he hits the deck in the tackle of Blake Steep, 35 out. Connor Watson's just holding his nose in back play. To the right-hand side now, Tracy, back to Stephen Crichton, and he's collected there coming across the tackle, Sam Walker, and also Angus Crichton. Played out at Tracy. Last play, Bulldogs, Galvin. It's a very flat, sharp pass across here towards Burton. High kick in the air. Only to Liza out of the high ball very well. And he steamrolls Haywood, and so too Reid Marnie. And Marky Mark will play at 35 out from that southern line centre field. 5 minutes left in the game. It's the Roosters 26, Canterbury-Bankstown 12. And now it is still with the Roosters. Toya on play 3. Swung back, open side left. And Blake Steep driven back now. Play at 40 out. Tedesco swats away the big fella Sam Hughes. Run down from behind eventually down there by Sam Hughes, who was trying again. Walker to the left-hand side now for the Roosters. This is second last tackle. 40 out to the Bulldogs line. Getting up to play it there is Billy Smith. Dummy half Watson to Walker. Centre field kick. Up in the air it goes. Tracy launches. Did well. Oncoming traffic there in the form of James Tedesco. We'll play 11 out from his own line here. Dogs back on the attack, Louis. It's the Roosters, though, with 4 minutes left to lead 26-12.
They've got a stoppage in play here.
No, stop. You're bleeding pretty bad, mate. Drop the ball here, go to the back.
There you go, a bit of a blood bin.
2.
Yeah. But
his left ear there, Nari Tawala.
Well, that's just another set for the Roosters. Just getting through to their sets nicely, getting to a kick. Tell you what, Mark Nawonga-Nitawaze, that catch before, that ball, and then the footwork and the strength, he's been brilliant for him as well. But just a real good performance. Here's a knock-on now for the Bulldogs, coming out of their own line. 4 minutes left on the clock, 26-12, and Roosters dominating.
Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, remember in that round 11 clash when the Dogs beat them 24-20 after leading 14-0, there was Marky Mark who not only scored the try of the century, but I remember speaking to him at the conclusion of the game. He was despondent because he got 3 balls, and that allowed the Bulldogs to come from behind and come up with a big win. But this has been really clinical from the Roosters tonight. They had that good lead at half-time, 14-6, and the only points they've got realistically, Brett, in the second half has been an intercept by Matt Burton.
Yeah, that's true. Scrum feed here for the Roosters. 20 out, 20 in from the eastern side. This will be 3 straight wins for the Roosters for the first time this year. As now a straightening run from Angus Crichton with 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game. Play to Watson. On here to Blake Steep. Port Macquarie lad to play at 11 out. Right-hand side of the post. Watson back to Walker. Inside ball, Lindsay Collins. And he's cut down 8 metres shy of that northern goal line. Spencer Lee receives a short ball in there from Watson. He's a metre out now. This is second last play, Roosters. 26-12 is their leader at the Sydney Football Stadium. Blindside left to Walker. On here to Tedesco to Tupou for number 3. He flies flies into the corner and scores and caps off his hat-trick. And their best win of the year so far, the Roosters. They are 30. Canterbury-Bankstown is 12. Roosters kick to come with 2:25 left on ABC Sport. Luke Lewis.
Yeah, beautiful attack here by the Roosters. They go left, and they go left, and they go down the short side once again. Everyone doing their job. You've got Angus Crichton punching into a hole, plays out the back there to Sam Walker. He goes to play short to Billy Smith, makes it, sucks in Stephen Crichton, and just quick hands there from Tedesco to find Tupou. Then it's a foot race to the corner, slams it down for his third try, and that's now up to 182. Is that correct?
That is.
Yeah, good.
You're good at counting. And the touchline, John Gibbs.
And a certain amount of irony there. You can see a wide smile from Daniel Tupou, who's now scored 15 tries in his last 11 games, because that is exactly the spot where he lost the ball with a similar dive against Melbourne. If he scored that try, they'd probably beat Melbourne and they'd be in a much better position. But they fought their way back. They had a 60-point romp last week, and tonight against top-quality opposition, they have been good in attack and resilient in defence.
3 tries also means he levels Xavier Coates for 18 on the year, so he's the co-leading try scorer.
Just a quick one for you and Gibbsy, right? You obviously don't like goal kickers very much. Does he kick it from here?
Gibbsy, he's 5 from 5 so far, Walker.
Yeah, he's missed 1 this year, and it's from far left. Whereas this, it's far left. But let me tell you, the way things are going, he'll kick it. Back him in.
All right, Gibbsy. What do you reckon, Louis?
No, I'm not backing against him. I reckon he's probably up there.
25 out. He's half metre in from the western side, Sam Walker. 5 from 5. 4 conversions, 1 penalty so far tonight. Minute and 5 seconds left. The seconds tick down. There he goes. Sam Walker. But he missed just the 1 attempt at goal in his now 6th game this year. On the approach, couple of steps, wobbles back beautifully. 6 out of 6. And it's the Roosters 32. The Bulldogs 12, 58 seconds left. On the SMS 0467 920 222. Trish says, Cowie, hat-trick, come stumbling in, bring this on. On you, Trish. Hello, team. Jim, Jen and Rusty, the Wonder Dog. That's our man, Jim Maxwell, and his lovely family. His wife, Jen. We dislike both teams, but loving the call. Good on you. Jim Maxwell, Jen Kirkby, great to hear from you. And sending your best wishes, I'm sure, to Andrew Moore, as are many of you on the SMS line. 0467 920 222. Short kick-off here. Tupou up in here. Into the lap there of Sam Hughes. Intercepted him by the big man. He runs toward the posts. Probably try at the time for 1 more here for the Bulldogs. Ripped away. 1-on-1 steal. It was well done down there by Spencer Leniu. So Roosters ball, 5 out from their own line. What about that for the big smiling Spencer Leniu? 1-on-1 steal. Roosters back on the attack. 30 seconds left. Louis, they lead by 20 points.
Yeah, well, that was brilliant. A really nice kick there from Matty Burton. A short kick-off. It lands in Sam Hughes' arms. He almost goes, 3 metres out. But never give up on a play there. Spencer Leniu, he comes up on 1-on-1. So well done to the Roosters, but they're going to get a great win. 15 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah. 13, 12. Walker runs it away here from the ruck and kicks towards that western touchline cheekily. As the seconds tick down here and the players start shaking hands. That is a most satisfying win for the Sydney Roosters. Their best all year. Their 11th win, 3 in a row for the first time this year. And for now, they are back in the top 8, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, great win there by the Roosters. I really like their attitude tonight. They ran hard, they defended really, really well, especially their goal line. I thought their line speed was really, really good as well. They took it to the Bulldogs and they just kept completing sets. They didn't give away too much field position. It was overall a great performance there from the Roosters.
32 points to 12, the full-time score here. 14-6 at half-time it was. Some idiots gone to the ground here in a Canterbury jersey. There was a couple at half-time as well. And across comes the cover defence of security, and he's gone on the halfway line. Anyway, Daniel Tupou a hat-trick. Nafahu White scored in the first half and the second half. Either side of half-time. And that just sets the win up there. Sam Walker was brilliant, and that is a most satisfying win here for Trent Robinson's men to put them inside the top 8 at least for now. We get some reaction from downstairs. Just got to find Gibbsy and Ralph. I'm always bad at this. I can see them lurking around now as the players are shaking hands, and that is now a loss 2 of the last 3 for the Bulldogs. So to pick it all apart here as well, what it means for them, and the fact they will stay in third regardless, whether it was win or loss tonight. They couldn't move from third position, but we'll head down and get some reaction from the winners firstly here at the football stadium. As I mentioned, Sam Walker, his goal kicking was fantastic, but his general play kicking was top shelf, wasn't it, Louis? And set up a lot of those Daniel Tupou tries and orchestrates their attacks so well. So we might even hear from our man Connor Watson. We'll hear from him at some stage. Fahu White scored 2 tries. He's with you, Gibbsy.
Fahu White, fantastic, really good defensive effort, and you must have been proud. 2 tries, I think your first double you've been in try scoring form.
Yeah, very grateful to get the 2 tries there. All good credit to my boys there. They're the ones that got me in the position to do so. So big ups to our defense there. We definitely came in with a mindset to go after it. And yeah, we're just building on each week. Come finals footy time. Hopefully we're on top notch. So full credit to the brothers, and it was a good game out there tonight. So
I've got to say, Fahu, your form in recent weeks has been more consistent. You've had 53 first go games now. Your last couple of months have been spot on. Do you feel that yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I pride myself on getting myself prepared the best that I can. When I play my best footy, it allows the team to play their footy too. So every week is the same consistency. I got the same prep over and over again, and just every week when I pull out this jersey, I'm just doing the best that I can every week to play for my brothers and get results like that. So very grateful, man. Very grateful.
Well, top quality opposition tonight, and you put yourself in a position where you can make the final and make some noise. There's some confidence, an air of confidence about this side.
Yeah, definitely a lot of confidence. We've definitely shown it throughout our past couple of weeks. It doesn't matter where we sit on the board. We can go head to head with the top teams there, and we showed it again tonight. We showed it last week. We're just going to keep building every week and hopefully knocking down those spots and playing finals footy at the end of the year. So very grateful.
Well done, well played. Congratulations in double, and thanks for joining ABC Sport.
Hey, thanks so much. Have a good one, eh?
He's having a great year, Fahu White. He re-signed a new deal, a 3-year contract recently, and a first career double here tonight. Fahu White for the Roosters, a key part of their 32 points to 12 win over the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, Fahu White, he'd be pretty happy with a big smile. I thought he had a blinder of a game. He was very, very busy. Scored 2 great tries. He was everywhere. He had a massive smile on his face when he got over for his double. So, look, I think every one of those Roosters out there should have a smile.
Gibbsy, down to you again.
Yeah, got Bailey Hayward with me. Disappointment, Bailey. This was a big match, big crowd, lots of noise. Your boys just didn't aim up tonight.
Yeah, look, I thought we started really well. Got into the game and was sort of starting to execute our game plan, but just as the game on, a little bit of discipline, field position errors, sort of hurting ourselves. And you give a class opposition like that a lot of ball, a lot of field position, they'll score points. So unfortunate, but we'll be back.
A lot of frustration there at the end. I think you can put that down and credit from me watching because of that really good defence for the Roosters. They kept keeping you out.
Yeah, definitely. It's props to them. They played really well, and they're the better team tonight. But we'll look back at our review. We'll see where we went wrong and what we can fix heading into next week, and we'll bounce back.
Well, you get an opportunity straight away because you play Melbourne next week, so you're at Amy Park.
Doesn't really get much bigger than that, but it's exciting. It'll be another good test to see where we're at, and like I said, we'll focus really a lot on ourselves, see where we went wrong, see where we can fix our problems, and like I said, we'll be back and we're excited, just ready for next week.
And Bailey, always a lot of noise about what's happening at the Bulldogs, and you've been starting as hooker the last couple of weeks. How are you enjoying that? Reid Marnie, of course, warming up things on the bench.
Yeah, look, whatever Sarah and the team needs me to play, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the team first as always, but look, it's a great opportunity. I'm enjoying my time here, but like I said, whatever's best for the team, I'm going to go and play with. That's lock, 9 in the halves, whatever it is, I'm going to do what's best for the team.
7 days is a long time in rugby league, you know that. Good luck next week against Melbourne.
Cheers, appreciate it.
Bailey Hayward, the Bulldogs hooker there with John Gibbs. And we might see if we can get one more Gibbsy, then join us up here for the post-game wrap-up here. The Roosters 32, the Bulldogs 12 here in front of 31,399 people here at the Sydney Four. It was just amazing, the noise that this place was generating, and a lot of cheers for Canterbury. But, of course, the Roosters get the chocolates in the end. And with that, they go into the top 8. They will go up to 7th for the time being. They won't quite get up to the Broncos, but bearing in mind that those teams all play tomorrow, the Broncos, Dolphins and the Sharks. Just keep an eye on Gibbsy. We'll get one more from Gibbsy if we can from down there on the field. The Roosters players have convened in the middle of the ground and just having a chat post-game here. Their 11th win for the year as they look to keep their finals chances alive. Mark Nongawituaze is down there with you, Gibbsy.
Yeah. Mark Nongawituaze, last time round 11 he was disappointed, might have scored the try of the century, but he was despondent, as I said earlier, about drop balls. You're going well, Mark.
I appreciate it, mate. Now, look, it was a good effort from the Doggies tonight. Obviously, they're a very classy team, mate. They've been very strong this year. But credit to my boys. To our boys. We stuck in there, had our game plan, and we followed it through. And obviously we have a few things to fix up. But besides that, we're just going to keep going. And next week's a new job as well.
I think what was most impressive, the attack. You can always attack, but your goal line defence was excellent. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah, look, I guess that's part of the game, right? We can't just do one thing, we have to do both, and that was part of our game plan tonight. Make sure we defended at home, and we wanted to put a good show on for the crowd here tonight, so glad to get the win there.
And you and Daniel Tupou trying to outdo each other with your aerial expertise.
Oh, mate, he's the GOAT for a reason. That's another 3 to add to his already impressive list. Look, mate, we're just out here trying to do what we can for the boys, and like I said, it was a very good win.
Another opportunity next week against Parramatta. Now, effectively, your destiny's in your own hands.
Yeah, definitely. Every game, like I said, every game's going to be tough. So next week, Parramatta are going to come out firing. So we've got to make sure we're up for the task.
How did you find the noise here tonight? A good crowd.
Oh, great crowd, mate. That's a special thing about league here. The people get around it, and credit to the Doggies fans. They're real supportive at the moment. The team's doing quite well, and obviously, big shout out to our fans. They show us good love, so glad we could get the win for them.
Well done. Always appreciate you joining ABC Sport.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, mate.
Mark Nongawituaze down there with John Gibbs from one rugby convert to another. Great to hear from him as well. And the Roosters winners here, 32 points to Canterbury-Bankstown's 12, and 3 straight wins now for the Roosters. 11 wins and 10 losses on the year. They are in the top 8 for now. As mentioned, some big games to come tomorrow. Broncos, Dolphins, of course, play each other at Lang Park, the Battle of Brisbane, and the Sharks in the first game tomorrow facing the Gold Coast Titans. That's how the logjam looks there, Louis, in that battle for those last spots in the 8. In this game, the Roosters held 55% possession, 81% completion, 3 line breaks to 2 overall, 10 offloads to 7 for what it's worth, and the penalty count finished up 9-5 in the Roosters' favour. There was 1 further ruck infringement and 1 for inside the 10. 3 players all up placed on report. Billy Smith for a hip drop on Sam Hughes in the first half. Sam Hughes and Max King placed on report for dangerous tackles or high tackles in the second half. So that is what's come out of this game here. But ultimately, it's the big win for the Roosters. And, I don't know if it's a tough loss for the Dogs in the context of, they're away to Melbourne next week, then Penrith at home, then Cronulla. So all finals teams potentially in those last 3, especially the next 2 games, are absolutely massive.
It's huge for the Bulldogs. Who they've got, obviously coming off tonight's loss. They've got the Melbourne Storm, who are going to be flying high after that great win against Penrith last night. And then they've got, who did you say? They've got the Sharks in.
So they got Melbourne, Penrith, the Sharks.
Yeah, that's a huge run home. But if they can win 2 of those games, they'll be flying high. They'll be full of confidence going into the semi-finals. But it's going to be a tough one. The couple of weeks for the Bulldogs.
All right, Louis, who gets you 3 best in the ABC Player of the Year?
Oh, I can't go past the little number 7 for the Roosters. I thought he was really, really good tonight. His kicking game, his organisation, his 3 try assists, obviously the kicks across field to Daniel Tupou. He was everywhere, but I just love watching him off the ball. He's demanding where he wanted his players, who he wanted him to get to, and I just feel like, and his goal kicking, but his direction out there with this in this Roosters side, they're a totally different team with him in the side. So he gets my 3. I went Angus Crichton for 2. I thought he was really good out in that left side. I thought he'd done a really good job. Put his hand up, done a lot of hard work, but it was the things he done off the ball a lot of people wouldn't have seen. He was running beautiful hard lines. He was sucking into the defenders, and that was creating space out wide for his other teammates. So done a good job. And Nafahu White, I went for 1. I thought he was really, really good. Scored a double up the middle of the field and done a lot of work there as well. Heaps of good tackles. Outstanding.
3 Sam Walker, 3 to Angus Crichton, 1 to Nafahu White in the ABC Player of the Year. That'd be a rare thing in itself. A Roosters win and no James Tedesco points.
I know. Well, Teddy played really, really well, but you're so used to him playing well. These guys really stood out. But you know who else went well? Mark Nwanganita-Waze. I thought Hugo Savalo went awesome. There was a lot of great performances in the Roosters.
Tupou scored 3 tries.
Amazing.
There you go. So those are your 3 best players in the ABC Player of the Year. 14-6 at half-time, 32-12 the full-time score here at a Sydney football stadium which had 32,000, or just shy of that, 31,399 here at the football stadium. The Roosters up now into 7th. The Bulldogs will stay in 3rd for now. And of course the Warriors jump back into the top 4 because of course they won earlier. They beat the Dragon 14-10, more on that shortly, and the Panthers lost last night. So that top 4 changes shape again. Raiders, Storm, Bulldogs, Warriors. And now tomorrow we'll find out a bit more about those teams in the lower part of the top 8, whether they can make their move. The Seagulls are still alive as well, down in 10th position, and that's really, I suppose, where the cut mark is, Louis, as far as how we get 10 into 8 across these next 3.5 weeks of football. Around the grounds in the AFL, we just went full-time at Docklands. St Kilda 77 beat Essendon 75. There were 6 first-half lead changes there, by the way. I know Staff in Far North Queensland always ask if the AFL scores. Staff, I will say I love your correspondence and your enthusiasm, and I say this as an AFL commentator myself. There's a thing called the ABC Listen app. You can download it and you can hear all the games there as well as what we have here on the NRL. So you can hear the games. If you want to get the scores, you can see it there rather than, hoping we'll give you the scores here during an NRL game. And in the 3rd quarter in Perth, Brisbane 46 leads Fremantle 27. So that's a big game for the Lions as well, as far as how the Staff did refer to these as being 2 big AFL games, and really you're wrong. One of them matters and the other one doesn't. But thank you, Staff, for your text. 0467 920 222. Grimesy says, Briggy, Luke and Gibbsy, a big congratulations. Daniel Tupou going 3rd all-time try scorer. I don't think he's quite 3rd, he's 4th. Because I looked at this before, seeing who he needs to... he's still got Billy Slater ahead of him. So he's 8 tries away from Billy Slater. So Ken Irvine, 212. Alex Johnson, who plays here tomorrow night, 209. Slater 190, Tupou 182. So he is 4th all time, having gone past Steve Menzies during this game. Daniel Tupou, so thank you for that. Trish says, I was louder than the whole stadium. I'm sure you were, Trish. John says, sad to hear of Andrew Moore's heart attack and glad to hear he's in hospital recovering. Best wishes to Andrew and family, and all for him to have a speedy and full recovery. Thank you, John. Joy says, Sam Walker's been the difference with the Chooks since he came back. They've been winning. It's hard to argue with that, isn't it, Louis? Not just in this game, but across these last 6 weeks. He was 6 out of 6 tonight as well, kicking. He was fantastic in general play, as I mentioned. He's been a key part of this Roosters side the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. He really has. His goal kicking's phenomenal. His general play kicking, his patience with the ball. But for me, it's when you watch him off the ball, is like, you'll be watching him at home and you see all the little things he's doing, but off the ball, his direction and his leadership and his talk is actually really, really good to watch. They are a totally different side with him in the side. So it's pretty scary to think where they would have been if he did, get to play a few more games earlier in the year. But at the end of the day, they're playing well now. He's out there, and I tell you what, I reckon he's probably one of the safest goal kickers. I remember Andrew talking about it. If I had to have anyone to kick for me, it would be Nathan Cleary.
Yep.
Watching Sam Walker kick, I tell you what, he would be pretty close to par with Nathan Cleary in goal kicking.
Great showing from the Roosters, says Dan from Coogee. Watch out, Canberra. All the best to Morsey. Good on you, Dan. Megan listening on the train along the Rhine to Frankfurt, Germany on the SMS 0467920222. David from Randwick says Connor Watson and Sam Walker orchestrating wins. Yeah, both were good tonight. Happy Rugby League. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Defence wins games, says little brother Trucker. Disgruntled Cowpokes supporter, and sends his best to Maury as well. Thank you very much for your message. 0467920222 as John Gibbs rejoins us. We'll recap the earlier game, the Warriors and the Dragons, very shortly, Gibbsy, but having caught your breath from ascending the 3 levels to this Ray Warren Media Centre at the SFS, what did you make of the game overall?
It was a clinical performance for the Roosters. They did everything well. The Bulldogs, as you heard from Bailey Haywood, they started well, they were confident, but they got frustrated. They were discombobulated. They just absolutely confused. They didn't know what to do. I think probably Reid Marnie went on earlier than they would have wanted, so they might have to rethink that again. But the Roosters have given themselves a chance now, and it just came on the end. But I think unlikely combination in the halves, Hugo Savala and Sam Walker. Sam Walker, as I said during the game, his try assists over the last few weeks have just been incredible. I can't remember anything like it. He is just such a fun player to watch as well, but their defence is what won it for them. I've got to say, just on Andrew, if you're listening, so many people, even coming up on the list here tonight, on the sideline, security people, everyone, randoms coming up and saying, is Andrew okay?
Yep, sending their best wishes, which is fantastic. There were shout-outs on the TV broadcast. There were shout-outs from rival radio networks as well, which is brilliant, and we appreciate all that, as I'm sure Andrew and his family does, resting up, recovering from this episode the last couple of days. Maury, we are all thinking of you, as Gibbsy said. This is, I believe, Gibbsy, the first time the Roosters win-loss ledger has been ahead. So they've been having more losses than wins until this point right now, which makes sense.
Yeah, well, as you said, the 3 in a row for the first time this year, and the 2 previous teams, an interesting one, the 2 previous teams that have scored 60 the previous week have been beaten, and the Roosters weren't going to let that happen, and tonight they stepped it up another level, and I have no doubt that when Daniel Tupou scored his 3rd try there, he thought, why couldn't I hang on to that against Melbourne, because they 2 points now, they've been in such a good position, but they are where they are, and Nwanganita-Waze and Tupou on the wings, absolute weapons. We've seen what Xavier Coates does week in, week out. This is fantastic competition. I have said it for a couple of weeks now. I think they have got the X factor to create some mayhem if they do make the 8. And I would think they are going to make the 8 now.
Yeah. Please tell Louis off air, I hate both teams. And then, that's from Jen. She said dislike before, but Jen does use stronger language, and she's used some here as well. I can't repeat those words. Thank you, Jen. That's Jen Kirkby, wife of Jim Maxwell. Great to have you all listening here tonight. And they've got a few here as well that have come through. Dan from Belmore, driving to the snow, thinking of Maury. Hopefully the doggies can shut down Tupou in the last 10 minutes. It didn't happen, Dan, unfortunately. Grimesy says, is Gibbsy saying the Bulldogs attack? Could you? Oh, no. No, you used the word impotent, so Grimesy's having some fun with that, but we'll ignore that from Grimesy. Keep it clean, Grimesy, okay? I know it's Friday night, but just keep it clean. 0467920222. Let's gather our thoughts for a moment and just recap what happened earlier at Mount Smart Stadium, where the Warriors beat the Dragons 14-10. The scoreline wouldn't explain half of it, but Glenn Lauder can. Este.
Yes, Briggy, the New Zealand Warriors return home after 3 straight losses and clinging on to their top 4 hopes, but it was a real arm wrestle. They trailed 10-0 early, but the Dragons were really unravelled by the fact that they lost 3 big men in the first half to HIAs, Hamish Stewart and Jack de Belin, in a horrible head clash. And then soon after, Hame Sele found himself on the hip of a Warriors player and went down as well in very nasty scenes. So it was a taxing evening for the Dragons. They ended up going down 14 points to 10. Another close loss for the Dragons this season. Dean Hallertau was watching it alongside me, and Haller, that second half, you could just tell the energy was being sapped out of the Dragons. Dragons after big minutes for a lot of their players, and the Warriors took advantage late.
Yeah, they did, and look, they only just took advantage of the Warriors. The Dragons were courageous in what they dished out. There's players playing out of position. You had Clint Gutherson late in the game moving into the middle alongside probably one of the other biggest middles in the game in Damien Cook. So they were really shot in terms of those injuries that you mentioned. And the Warriors found a way to get the job done, but they weren't convincing. They made a lot of errors when they probably had the Dragons on the ropes, and they could have done a bit more damage with the scoreline. But it's kind of been the way the Warriors have tracked over the last couple of months, I would say, well, since they've had those significant injuries, is just an inability to put their game together competently. Hopefully that starts to turn for them and they can do that. And the Dragons, their formula for the last 3 weeks and those two big wins they had has been completion and just staying with the process. They did that. They just ran out of steam tonight.
Michael Carianis was watching alongside us tonight. MC, obviously, both teams had to do a huge amount of defence, close to their lines as well. It was a real battle of attrition. And as Dino touched on, unfortunately for the Dragons, that rotation was so cruel for them.
Yeah, it hurt, and the players that they lost were the players that played the biggest minutes in the forward pack, and so they had to make do. David Clemmer had an enormous game trying to, I think what did he end up playing 65 minutes straight? Essentially, David Clemmer, and then Jacob Little and Damien Cook spent some time in the middle of the field. Clint Gutherson, as Haller said, played in the middle. So look, it was just another one of those games for the Dragons where they sit down and reflect on the year. If things went their way, they would have won. And there's a long list of these games now for the Dragons, and it's why they won't play finals footy this year.
In terms of playing finals footy, Dean Hallertau, the Warriors will. If they finish in the top four, where do you put them based on a performance like that this evening, where they've just about got the job done?
I reckon that's a TBC on the Warriors. They've got 3 games left to sort of prove that they are a genuine top 4 team, or they're a team that just sort of fell in the top 4 off the back of a really strong start to the year. No doubt they've played some really high quality footy this year, and they're one of the most enjoyable teams to watch when they click and things go well. They've got some exciting young players that have come in and made a name for themselves, and they play a real flashy style of football, but with a lot of good execution in amongst it. That's dipped away, and we made a lot about the fact that they're missing Luke Metcalf, and I didn't mention Mitch Barnett. Mitch Barnett has been a leader in their pack, so they're significant losses, but they have to change a lot before we'd say they're genuine top 4 team that can do some damage.
Adam Pompey scored a 18-minute double late in the second half. Chanel Harris-Tavita got the ball rolling for the Warriors with a try in the 32nd minute. Tanner Boyd ended up with 1 from 3 for the St George Illawarra Dragons. Matt Fiinge scoring a double inside the first 20 minutes. Kyle Flanagan kicking 1 from 2. It finished the New Zealand Warriors 14 points to 10 over the Dragons at Mount Smart Stadium. Dean Hallertau, who got your ABC Player of the Year points?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go 3 points to David Clemmer just for the output. He was asked to stay on for a long time, more than he typically would. The 31-year-old veteran, was front and centre of everything, and he never shirked his work. And that's a big effort. 183 running metres in the middle, and he made a heap of tackles, 38 tackles. I don't think Clem would have ever made 38 tackles in a match. So big ups to him there. 2 points I'm going Jackson Ford for the Warriors. He was enormous in his role. He had an error that was, I guess, somewhat costly, but he pumped out big minutes, super effective, and as usual from him, 53 tackles for a front rower is big. And 1 point, I'm going to go Matthew Fiinge for the Dragons. He was dangerous on an edge, scored a couple of tries, could have scored more, could have set up another one as well, but he was always a threat, and big running meters from him in the centres for the Dragons.
There you go, Spriggy. The Warriors back into the top 4 temporarily with a 14 points to 10 win at home over the Dragons.
Indeed. Thank you, Glenn, and to Dino and MC as well for that first game there. A 4-point win of the Warriors over the Dragons at Mount Smart Stadium. But yeah, they were brave, Louis, having lost those 3 big men in the first half and had to activate their 18th man, but couldn't hang on there in the end, the Dragons. Just realised here as well, John Gibbs, that I mentioned the result had swung on the past 6 occasions. Now it's 7 because, of course, Canterbury won in round 11. The Roosters winning here tonight. So these two head-to-head. You've seen more footy this year than that's their biggest win of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because last week they're under pressure.
They won 60 points.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
The opposition tonight, and great crowd here. By the way, just clarifying it, 31,399. Yeah, no.
What's that? 399.
No, but you said at one stage, why I thought you had it wrong, you said 1 off 32,000.
Oh, good point. 31,400. Gee, that is sloppy from me. Yes.
No,
correct.
I just encourage you.
That's why you're the teacher. I did. I was thinking of 32,000. You're right. It was 31,000. 31,400.
Anyway, this was by far and away their best win when you consider everything about the pressure, and it's going to be. It's going to cause a bit of a rethink, you would think, for the Bulldogs, Louis, because this is a bad loss at this stage of the year. And they're coming up against Melbourne next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it is a bad loss because the points have been put on, but, mate, the Roosters were red hot tonight. I thought they played really well. That's the best I've seen the Roosters play for a long time. And, you know, Sam Walker's inclusion in this side over the last few weeks has been phenomenal. Yeah, they're coming into their own at the right time of the year. But the only thing is it enough? That's my biggest question. Will they make? I'm still not sold that they actually make it, but if they do make it, okay, it's definitely interesting.
So the Roosters away to Para at the Western City Stadium next Saturday night, then Melbourne away, then South at home. They win 2 out of those 3?
You'd think so.
Yeah.
But not in our game now.
Well, that gives them 13 wins. Probably gets them in there. I mean, again, there's a few big games to play out across these next few weeks.
The other good thing from last week to this week, big for their for and against both weeks, which could be really important. And the Dolphins, of course, the Roosters put a big dent in theirs, and we'll see how they go against the Broncos. All games are huge. This is a great comp.
Tomorrow we'll be in the boardroom. Yes, that's me with Luke Lewis, Michael Carianis. We'll do 2 till 3 before kicking it across to Glenn Lauder, Dean Hallertau, Kiana Takarangi at Shark Park for Cronulla Sutherland, the Sharks versus Gold Coast. Then we do the usual between-game show into Broncos Dolphins, which is huge. Quentin Hull, Willie Morsey and Bojack on the call there, while we then head to the Sydney Football Stadium for this venue right here, for South Sydney versus Parramatta. And then on Sunday, of course, you'll have Glenn Lauder with you two, Louis and Gibbsy, for the 12 till 2 show before West Tigers take on Manly Warringah. And still some hope for the Seagulls as well, Gibbsy. Despite back-to-back losses, there's still some hope for the Seagulls to make that low part of the top 8 as well. And then Quentin Hull, Lachlan Coote on ABC Sport debut, and Laurie Spina will bring us North Queensland versus Newcastle. And, of course, we'll keep you across NRLW round 7. That starts tomorrow as well at Shark Park with that early game, the Sharks and the Gold Coast Titans. The fallout continues just quickly from last night. That Ashley Klein call, the Moses Liotta and Harry Grant collision, I guess, during the Nathan Cleary field goal attempt. This is the first time I've had a chance to ask you guys about it. What did you make of how all that transpired in late in the
I thought it was Hollywood. I thought it was... Look, at the end of the day, from Harry Grant. Yep. Harry Grant play within the rules, which he's allowed to, which is fine. But for me, watching it, I thought it was quite poor sportsmanship, personally. That's from my view. But at the end of the day, he's playing within the rules. So we've created that for him. He understands it and then pulls their pants down with that beautiful dummy at the end and scores that try. So, yeah, hats off to Harry Grant.
He conned them twice in a row. First with the banging into Moses Liotta, and then, of course, with the run from dummy half, which is just absolutely brilliant. What I'll say is this, technically, probably as it is, it's probably a correct decision as it is, but if that is not changed, they are making a mockery out of the game. A player that is onside, how can he be penalised like that? And if you do that as an instruction, Harry Grant wasn't going to get to him. So they have to look at that rule again, because that interpretation is not what it's meant for. It's like lots of things. The interpretation it was initially meant for has changed, and that's a bad look for the game.
All right, minute left here. Tomorrow's game, Sharks-Titans.
Sharks
have got to win.
Yeah, that makes total sense, doesn't it? They had a stumble, didn't they, the Sharks last week at Cogra against the Dragons. Broncos-Dolphins is huge for both sides, but the Broncos are rightly favoured, given the Dolphins issues they're dealing with.
Dolphins, too many injuries.
I'm going to go Dolphins for an upset.
Okay. And South and Para here tomorrow night.
Parramatta.
Parramatta, Latrell Mitchell out.
Yes, I saw that. Cody Walker perhaps might be back.
That'll be big. They need Cody Walker. Alex Johnson needs Cody Walker and or Latrell Mitchell on the left side.
I'll be here with Louis and MC for that game tomorrow evening. Enjoy your Saturday, Gibbsy. We'll hear from you on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you to John Gibbs, and thank you to Luke Lewis. Louis, we'll catch you tomorrow.
Look forward to it, mate. Thank you.
And yes, thank you to those gentlemen. Thank you to our producer, Ralph Tucker, our man of sound, Dennis Carnahan, Renell Moa in the studio, and of course, continued love
love and strength to our great mate Andrew Moore. Wins today to the Warriors over the Dragons, 14 points to 10. And indeed, here at the SFS, the Roosters from 14-6 at half-time, 32 points to 12. Winners here in front of 31,399. Just one shy of 31,400 here at the football stadium. The highlights will take us out here. Join us, of course,